The Guinness World Record. What were you chasing?
The plan was a PR stunt.
What was the breakdown as you went through that?
My body was ready to quit after the first 24 hours. That was when I realized, oh, we can't sleep. My mind started tripping after the fourth day. It was like I stopped recognizing people around me.
From breaking the Guinness World Record with a 240-hour DJ set to spinning at the most exclusive events in Lagos, London, and New York, DJ Obi has become the sound architect of a generation. But beyond the fame and flawless transition lies a deeper story, one of a hustle, heartbreak, and legacy.
I just moved to Nigeria in 2012. I'm trying to fight grief because my dad died. My dad wasn't supposed to be alive, but just because of the kind of person he is, he was trying to be diligent with work. I couldn't comprehend.
DJ Obi isn't just playing gigs, he's building institutions. DJ Obi's house is more than a party, it's a cultural staple, a gathering sound for sound, style, and the sound of a new Lagos.
People get confused when I'm telling you that Obi's house is a godly thing or Obi's house was a divine idea because then you thinking it's a party. Now they put God for box. People, they calculate Obi's house when it to start dying down. Guy, they press that calculator like this because you don't know. Yeah. Don't worry about the sins. If you don't fuck your girlfriend before, sorry.
So if you think you know DJ Obi, think again. This is the untold story of the man behind the music and the movement. What's the one thing people don't understand about the business of DJing? People listen to this podcast and they're going to be on their way home. They're going to be on a walk, they may be doing some chores, and it's on a treadmill, it's a really intimate conversation. And we believe that your story represents culture and survival. So if someone was to click this video, right, what do you want to tell them of the story you're going to share with them today?
Stay tuned. I will be 100% honest. About what because I don't know the questions yet, but I want them to see an example, of an extreme truth. I don't know, it's a full circle moment here, by the way. So this is like talking with my friends, like talking with my guys. You get, so I just want them to see an example of like hardcore honesty, the honesty that you don't necessarily accept. But because it's the truth and you want to live by it, you have to hug it, and that truth should propel you to want to be consistent. That truth should propel you to want to push through a lot of pain. That truth should propel you to want to forgive yourself and let go of your mistakes.
Obi, so let's start with the Guinness World Record, right? 10 straight days on the decks. 9 straight days on the decks, right? What were you chasing?
I was chasing where I'm at right now. But mainly, I like to tell people it was a PR stunt and it did what it needed to do. I was chasing many different things that fall under public relations and, putting my brand out there mainly. I just moved to Nigeria in 2012 and I'm trying to fight grief because my dad died and I'm moving back based on that. But then now when you wipe those tears, you got to eat. I'm not going to be begging my family for money. I'm not going to, I have to do what I know. Of course, there was the talk of 9 to 5. What are you going to do now? Well, your dad didn't necessarily like you DJing. So maybe you want to, someone told me, well, you might want to get a respectable job now, and all that stuff. So battling with everybody's opinions and emotions and, referrals and all of that, trying to now decide that I'm going to stick to DJing and do it for real. So how do I start? Where do I start? What do I do? What do the next 5 years from this point on look like? And just really trying to figure out Nigeria because yes, I grew up in Lagos, but I'd been away for a while. So this is not, and then when I say I grew up in Lagos, I was a child growing up into a teenager. Now I'm a full grown man trying to navigate it the way I've lived in the States and I've navigated. I know everything that I'm doing. I know my work, I do school, where I'm paying my bills, set up everything, you feel me? So now I have to shift that life here. And when that started, there was a lot of resistance. there was a lot of shifting, you know. It went from, Obi's home in December to, Obi, what are you still doing here now?
You overstayed your welcome.
What are you still doing here? You understand? And I now started seeing the people that were cool with me turn into competition. You feel me? I'm like, okay. Now I had to learn how to move, you know, different, or calculate my moves and all of that stuff. You know, thankful for the fact that I worked with some of the best managers, two of the best managers ever to touch the entertainment scene in Nigeria, Chin Okeke and Asa Sika.
Yeah.
I started with Chin, and Chin was, I want to say, the greatest foundation that anybody coming into the entertainment scene could get, because Chin knows it. You know what I mean? I don't know how to say it, but that's my brother. That's my guy. And Chin really did his best for me. He gave me his time. Yeah. We traveled a lot. Chin taught me how to work a room. Like when you walk into space, whether you're supposed to be there or not, make sure that you leave a mark, but always on the positive side, not necessarily like anything rah-rah, you know what I mean? But just if you're trying to make a difference, there's certain things you do, even if you mistakenly walk into a room of people where they're like, we don't know yet, then you leave here knowing me. You understand that kind of thing? So even with that drive, it pushed me to want to do more in Nigeria. And then around the time, shortly after, I want to say between 2014 or 2015, China decided that, listen, man, I've done this entertainment thing. They don't get it. It's frustrating him. It's like, man, peace out. You guys try to figure it yourselves out. You feel me? I've done my bit. You get, and he was focusing more on even Giddy Fest at that time. You feel me? So he was shifting lanes as well. And then I tapped in with Asa, you know, and it was an amazing transition, you know. So starting out with Asa now is during the world record time. Okay, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Asa is walking into rooms and he's walking into offices to say, Obi is my client now. And we're still getting this whole, like, who is DJ Obi? And like, I came here in 2012. It's 2016 now. You still, or 2015 at this point, you still don't know who I am. Like, man, it was making me feel some type of way. You feel me? But mind you, this is after... And you both can attest to this. This is after I've established myself in America.
You're an OG. You're an OG.
All this after I've established myself in America. Like I could have gone back to just going, you know, doing my thing or whatever it is in the Yankee. Going back to all those our gigs and parties that we did. You feel me? So I'm out here like literally back to up and coming status. You know, literally, bro.
This life, bad.
You know, they're asking all these funny questions when my name comes up. And in fact, it's making me and Asa feel some type of way at that point, because, or Asa and I, because it's like, we are working. And it's like, Obi has been working, you know, how come you don't know this and that? We're like, we need to do something. Yeah. And if I want to be honest, that is around the time that the idea of something like an Obi's house, not that we called it Obi's house, but the idea of something like an Obi's house started brewing between myself and Asa. It's like, we need to do something to invite everybody to see me DJ and just keep it going, right? Either that, like, you know, and I think at the time we called it Music and Me. I want to be honest, we called it Music and Me. And I was still working with Kule, who owned Liquid. You remember Liquid?
Oh my God. No one has been able to. Don't take.
That's priceless, man.
Liquid.
So, Kule, Asa, we just used to chill. Like, we telling Kule our problems as a like, boy, you know, like, man, these people try to play us, man. Talk about they don't know us, bro. We shut down Liquid every weekend. You know what I mean? Like, what's going on? So we're talking to him mainly for like space. Like we have this idea. We're thinking it'll be, you know, Asa said we think Obi should do something that like will be his own thing, his own night. It's all be all about DJ Obi. And he was like, I like the idea. What are you gonna call it? You know, Music and Me, all of that. But prior to that, you know, World Record Time was when we were now thinking, okay, what is it that we're going to do that will get everybody's attention, right? And while this is bouncing around now, we're still attending different events. So there's a PR event that comes up, Wildflower PR event. Exactly. She invited different people. Somebody that spoke at the at the conference. Her name is Leslie Kasumba, who was running Channel Oil at the time. She spoke about black coffee, and when she was speaking, and she said black coffee, my attention, because I was in the conference, not necessarily caring about it, but it was just one of those things where I was attending it, but something now still popped up recently, like maybe earlier on in that day, that still had to do with this whole they don't know you, are trying to book you for this gig or this end of the year party or this company gig, and they're still saying that. And you know, everybody has their person in some office that is rooting for their own person who's a DJ, whether the person can do the job or not. You feel me? So we're going through all of that, all the gatekeeping, all the blocking, all of that. You feel me? And then sometimes you find out these are the people that even told you, oh, you should come back to Nigeria. And it's like, yeah, I'm here now. Yeah, you weren't blocking me from getting these gigs. Like, how? You know, I find out because I went to KC with my guy, so I have to, you know, all that type of stuff. But anyways, I was dealing with some of that early on in that day. Went to Wildflower PR thing, so I was kind of checked out or whatever. I was just tapping away on my phone. But when I heard Black Coffee, it caught my attention because Black Coffee is one of my all-time favorite DJs. You feel me? Like top 2 between himself and Jazzy Jeff. You know?
And you just DJ'd with him recently as a vet. we gonna get there. We gonna get there.
You feel me? So I heard his name. I put my head up and I'm listening. Like, yeah, you know, so I forgot. I didn't hear what was being said prior to that point. All I heard was Black Coffee. I looked up and they're talking about the fact that he's a great, you know, talent for Africa. He's drawing attention, you know, and blah, blah, blah. And that he even went as far as attempting a world record. And I was like, what you mean? World record or something like that? Back in high school, I was a big fan of Guinness World Record. I was always looking at ridiculous things. Like, man, these guys are crazy, you know? So I'm like, this guy tried that? And I know his story with his arm and everything. Like, he DJs with one hand, mono headphones, all of that. So I'm like, man, this guy's so amazing. He tried to break a world record. I immediately go on my phone, Google, right there in the conference. And I've tuned out now. So I heard that bit and I need to pay attention to how God works. I heard that bit. Yeah. I didn't know what they said before. I didn't know what they said after. I heard that bit.
Like a whisper.
Listen, I heard that bit and I went to work on my phone, Googling this and that, trying to find out. And I was reading, right there in the comments, I was reading different articles. He tried to do it. He didn't try to do it. Oh, he said he would do it, but he decided later he wasn't going to do it. But boom, this is now an idea. This is it. Immediately forward everything to Issa, like, guy, this is it. We're doing this too. Issa is like, man, what do we need to do? Blah, blah. So quietly, because prior to this experience now, we've been coming up with different ideas and people just stole our ideas. Yeah. I cannot begin to tell you. I experienced it with Chin, and we experienced it with Issa. I cannot begin to tell you how many times. And also we were tailoring those events to my brand. Yeah. So when we're going to meet a corporate cons, whoever person, and they say, well, we don't know your guy, we don't know what, we're like, okay, cool, you don't know us, no problem. Let us do this event together. Yeah. That helped me a lot with the business side of things in Nigeria because I sat in a lot of those meetings, you know, to discuss with alongside with my manager, or, you know, I got feedback from those meetings. I was very heavily involved in it. So we had to figure it out. We had to silently move now, Issa and I. We had to silently move now because we can't shout this thing. Because now, this is what they cannot steal from us. Yeah. You understand? We didn't want to immediately start calling our regular drink brands or whoever. Or at that time, all these telecoms were popping. You know, it was like, cool down, because we've experienced what we've experienced in the past. Because we'll just wake up one day and see that our idea of an event, they're doing it with other DJs, other brands, or whatever it is. You feel me? So we started moving quiet. And around that time, I'd just connected with Kelechi Dozie, and who is the master of stealth. You know what I'm saying? So we had just connected on some things. I think he was trying to help. He wanted me to help him with some projects and stuff like that. He had a production team and he was just looking for what to do. And I was like, I think I can confide in this guy to tell him what we want to do. And I mentioned it to him because he was always like, yeah, whatever projects you have, just let me know. We'll see what we can do together. So I was like, yo, big bro, it looks like I want to do this thing. I was like, this is mad. What can we do? How do we do it? We reach out to Guinness World Record. We start talking to them. At first, we decided that we just wanted to do for Africa or Nigeria and all of that. They were like, no, we can't do that. It's a world record, so it has to be something that's global, not regional, that they don't do regional stuff. And like, okay, cool. That was 2015. The next year was 2016, and it was going to, I think, no, 2015 was 10 years of it was going to mark 10 years of DJing, of my DJ career. So we're really trying to squeeze it in that 2015, but it wasn't happening. We had to pay some fees and licensing for using their, trademarking and all of that stuff. So we had to raise funds. Kelechi definitely came through heavy on all of that. But by the time we arranged everything, it was not looking like 2015 anymore. So okay, when are we going to do it? And there were some other things that we needed to do in terms of now talking to some sponsors and all of that. So we decided that we were going to do it the following year, but we kept in touch with them. You feel me? And then 2016 came. We decided the date. I think that was even after my birthday. I want to say I just turned, I don't know what age. And I was trying to look for something special to back it up. And that was one of the first time I experienced something viral-ish, because even from the announcement of saying that I wanted to do it, it went crazy. It was like, what? This guy's not my... That was the first time I experienced social media, heavy, you understand? And we set it up. It was one of those things that I'd already done in my mind, you feel me? Because I like a challenge. And the challenge for me was to show all these people... I can't cross on your thing now because...
No.
Please feel free.
It was to show all these motherfuckers. You feel me? It was to show all these motherfuckers that...
It's levels.
You say you don't know me. I don't know. Okay, cool stories. You gonna know about me.
Yeah.
You feel me? So we aligned everything. I started working out from 2015 into 2016. I was eating everything healthy. So I want to say that was even one of my first times where it's I zoned in on my fitness. Yeah. So I started working out heavy. I started trying to make sure that I was eating right because I needed to feed my body well because I was going to starve my body, So if I prepared for anything at all, it was just that, to make sure that I was healthy enough to carry on with this thing. But I'd done it in my head already. I'd finished it. To me, DJing, wake me up at any time of the day. I'm ready. I'll get the decks. I'll smash it, right? So, and at that time, I used to have this habit of just DJing nonstop in the house. So
I've been there. I've literally been there in your house upstairs.
Exactly. I'll just plug in and you can come and help me. What you do? You hear the music in background. I'm at the crib, jamming, come through. You feel me? So it was, to me, it was just an extension of that. But little did I know. But it was just an extension of that. And I was like, yeah, I've done this. I do this all day, every day. So I've done this already. Nobody's doing this better than me right now. I've done this already. I downloaded hard drives worth of tracks. House music, R&B, hip-hop, Afrobeats, all of it. Funky house, dancehall. We decided that the first 8 days, I want to say, or the first 6 days or something like that was going to be only house music, because that was the genre of music that would let me buy time and extend and play from start to finish, mix at the end, start to finish, versus cutting in the middle of the song and all that. I'll be losing tracks. So we had to, we planned everything, down to power. Kelechi donated a generator. I'm serious. Kelechi donated a generator at UPS because the power couldn't go out. So in case the power went out.
So if NEPA fuck up.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
We had to look for everything.
Wow.
We had to look for everything. When we started, the only company that came through at that point was my big bro Owen, that rocks with Hennessy.
Yeah.
Owen came out of nowhere, covered literally just started bringing drinks. It was like a party that was being constructed as it was happening. You feel me? We had Patron as a sponsor from the way, you feel me? Hennessy came through and he just made sure that, okay, what this guy is doing, this is where we have to be. It's phenomenal. Let's make it happen. So people started coming out to support Don Jazzy. At that point, Lynx and Nedu and everybody were the first ones to come through. Don Jazzy came through. Omar Omi came through. Tiwa came through. MI moved his old Chocolate City office for a day during the world record there, So our plan started working. The plan was a PR stunt. It was like, after this, shame on you if you actual DJ Obi's. Because then you don't know your job. if your job is to be looking for DJs and you're asking who DJ Obi is after this whole experience, then that's on you.
Yeah.
And that was really what the goal was, to like shock Nigeria. You feel me? Nothing had happened. Well, outside of like Kafi for a while, nothing had happened in Nigeria like that for a very long time. Yeah.
So in preparing for the record, you said you had to go to the gym, you had to get your fitness up. When you were then in the process of doing it, what were some of the first things that tend to go? Is it your body, your mind? Like what were you feeling? What was the breakdown as you went through that?
Yeah, definitely my body first. My body was ready to quit after the first 24 hours because that was when I realized, you can't sleep. That was when I realized that, because everybody dabbing me, I'm like, yo, bro, we'll see you tomorrow. We're going to be here. We're coming. We're going to be here. First in Obi, we're going to be here for you. Where you guys going? We're going home. Guy, you can't go. Really? That's when I knew what I signed up for. It's like mad. The way I used Sal Cafe, my sister's restaurant. Big up to Sarah, my sister. She full support. So I used Sal Cafe. So she made sure her waiters were there. In fact, not that she made sure they were there. They just decided to like have fun with me. They were, they stayed on extended shifts and stuff like that to help me out. But my body went first, and then my mind started tripping after the 4th day. Yeah, because at that point, I had not slept at all. Literally, I was running on pure adrenaline, pure passion, pure like we're doing this, the vim. You feel me? And with my body, I was able to pick it up, and I'll feel it slowing down. Pick it up. I'll stand in ice, in an ice bucket or a bucket full of ice to wake my body up.
While DJing,
you can do anything. You do any and everything behind the decks, bro. So. Just looking for different ways to keep my body up. We had a medic from Med Plus there, 2-4, you feel me? But after the 4th day, it was hallucinations. Like I stopped recognizing people around me, my siblings, my close friends. I started having flashbacks of like childhood memories and stuff like that, thinking I was there physically. Yeah, my body started doing its own thing. My mind started doing its own thing.
It's like a mushroom trip.
No, it wasn't actually. I don't know, because I haven't actually done shrooms yet. But so it was. I would say it was some type of trip, because like I would just gaze, and somebody would be talking to me, and I couldn't hear them because I was somewhere else in my mind. You feel me? And sometimes they had to like use style to like push my hand. It's like, bro, don't forget what we're doing here. Don't forget what we're doing here. You understand? So that was how my body started deteriorating until the 9th day.
Now that some time has passed, I mean, next year is going to be the 10-year anniversary.
Yes.
Basically.
No, this year.
This year,
December. Well, for world record, yes. This year, December, will be 20 years DJing.
20 years DJing, but for the world record, 10 years next year. How do you view that version of yourself?
That guy?
That guy.
Man. Don't make me flashback, man. Nigeria don't change everything. Just wanted to take over the world, bro. Nothing could stop me. You feel me? Bro. I put my life on the line for my career, but I put my life on the line for the job, technically, with the world record, bro. So I was very passionate. Man, that guy he was ready. He was ready, it still is, you feel me? Just older now, but there was no stopping. There was no stopping, because world records also one of the core life experiences where, for me, I was like, man, Popsy's gone. My dad was my all. You feel me? So it was one of those moments like, you have to start doing this thing yourself, man. Ain't nobody come and check for you. All those people that tell you they love you, they can't love you reach this level. It gets, like, I was a very troublesome kid. My dad always came through no matter what. I promise you, Popsy always pulled up. Always. Yeah. He might be late, but he'll pull up. You feel me? And he might be late due to annoyance of the stupid shit that I was doing, but he will still pull up. Yeah. You feel me? So not having him felt like, man, I didn't grow up with my mom. She's still alive, even, still kicking, and we're still working on our relationship. But I didn't grow up with my mom. I had my dad. You feel me? And he was my number one idol for anything. God, church, work, intelligence, hustle, like that was it. You feel me? So not having him around to even experience that and all of that, it was still motivation to but it was just one of those things that's like, yeah, you're gonna have to do this life thing by yourself now, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's actually go back to that moment with the plane crash. And I don't know if I ever told you this story. My dad was supposed to be on that plane.
Stop playing.
Yeah.
Right? Crazy.
At that time, he was he had a huge project he was doing into Napa. So he was consistently going to Abuja, the fighting, you're fighting for contract.
Right.
And he said that something, either they messed up his ticket or something. And, my dad's kind of like a calm dad. So my dad was just like, just put me on the next flight. And that's it.
So the opposite of that story is my dad wasn't supposed to be on that flight, but he was trying to, just because of the kind of person he is, he was trying to be diligent with work. And it's almost like he didn't trust the people that he left the work in their hands. So it was almost like, as much as he has left that work in their hands, let him come to Lagos to come and oversee that work, because his boss was Desiani and he was trying to make sure that everything was on point with whatever engagement. I think she had a speaking engagement in Echo Hotel or something like that. You feel me? So he really wasn't. As a matter of fact, when everything happened, she was even more upset, because she was like, if she knew he was making those moves, he could have just flown private with her to Lagos. You feel me? Like, what is he looking for on a commercial flight? You feel me? And normally, if he's on a commercial flight, he would have bought business class. So when the crash happened, they couldn't find his name for a while, because he bought somebody's ticket. It was because, how Nigerians...
It was that last minute.
It was that last minute, bro. So he bought somebody's seat. So when you hear that kind of story, you now start thinking like, was it supposed to happen? Was it not supposed to happen? That's why you just leave it at God knows best. You feel me? Because knowing who he is, if he's actually supposed to be on the flight going, they would have sorted him on a business class seat, but he got an economy. He took somebody's economy seat. So his name didn't necessarily come up in manifesto. And even after they had done all the things, it still came up at the bottom type shit, because it wasn't in the business class manifesto. You understand, that type of shit. So it took a while to. Well, I wouldn't say it took it. Now that I know what I know, it took a while to find him, but they knew. It took a while for them to tell us. To try to figure it out, but. Yeah.
Yeah, but tell us what was the impact, especially because he was your everything. He was the patriarch, all your siblings. You guys are very close. As siblings. I've watched you guys' relationship. So how did that impact?
Everybody deals with grief differently, But I feel like grief is it's like real life. I don't know if that makes any sense. It's the one truth that nobody wants to accept. We're all gonna die. It's not an insult. It's not a swear. God has put it, you're gonna live, you're gonna die. What you do in between is your business. But as I brought you to this one, when you finish, you come, you go answer for what you do. You understand? So you're going to. So nobody, and at the same time, nobody wants to die. You feel me? Everybody thinks they're going to live forever because they want to enjoy their hustle. They want to enjoy their money. You understand? That's why that line in Lahore is very funny, but I just they sing them in that cruise now. Go sing them with them. We go live forever. But the truth is, man, we're all going to die. So how you living your life? You feel me? But it was hard. The most difficult time in my life. You feel me? I couldn't comprehend. I couldn't comprehend. This guy is such a superman in my life that's like, what do you mean he's not coming back? we dealt with it differently. We were able to fight through a lot of discord, a lot of division tactics and all of that. And, that just gave me reassurance in how my father actually trained us, because I would say the only flaw in my eyes that my dad had was his love life. You feel me? But outside of all of that, like, he was a top guy, like A1 on anything and everything else. You feel me? And he was he was very vocal to us about his flaw as well, because when you check his rap sheet, it was the only thing that like made him feel like, I wish I got this one right. You feel me? So I put that on the table to say, like, yes, there was a lot of commotion happening in his absence. You feel me? But thank God for God. Thank God for a godly foundation. We just always need to go back to God and it'll be okay. You feel me? And stay together. And yeah, but my siblings, you've met the four of them. There's 8 of us. Yeah, there's 8 of us and 8 children,
From one mom?
2.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So
all of them I've met are from one?
Yes.
Mom? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
But yeah, we still love each other, still check in. Daddy's not here now doesn't mean that it's the end of the road. You feel me? And he was such a great person, because till today I still, get moments to smile and like get encouragement from just saying his name outside. You feel me? I came back 2 days ago from Texas. Yeah. On the plane here, I met this lady, Auntie Bola. Auntie Bola was up. I was just stretching my legs, and we got talking, and obviously she asked me my name and what's your last name, because older people always want to know your full name
so they can place you.
You feel me? And when I mentioned my full name, she said, that last name, I remember it was your father, I think she asked me something different so that I can come to it. She's like, was your father a pilot or something? I was like, no, but he was on TV, radio. She's like, I knew it, and she started going on about defense. So I get that reaction when I talk to people, and then they find out, when they want to find out more about me, and they find out who my dad is. So when I experience that, it makes me want to just like, yeah, bro, you gotta do stuff. You gotta work hard. You have to keep showing up, because he might have not been the most perfect human being in the world, but look at how many lives he's touched, to the point where at least within Nigeria and even some places around the world, you can say I can still say my popsy's name and it's opening doors. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I want to now switch in, because you're talking about hard work, right? And I want to understand, what's the one thing people don't understand about the business of DJing?
That is work. It is work. It's not just pushing buttons. It's not a playlist. We're not your radio. We're not your human radio. So you tune into how you want. It is work. It's a lot of multitasking. So it busts the myth of the fact that men cannot multitask.
That's a true myth.
It's a lot of multitasking. I'm watching the crowd. Yeah. I'm reading lips. I'm listening to music I'm playing. I'm listening to what I'm about to play. I'm making sure that the volume is okay. Making sure that I have like 2 or 3 tracks lined up. Ready. You feel me? Watching the crowd for security reasons. Watching the crowd, making sure there's no scuffle happening. Somebody's not pointing, because we can pick those things up. If somebody's pointing someone's face at the bar, blah, blah, I'm able to tell the bouncer that, oh, there's a situation about to pop off over there. Don't destroy my set. I'm about to reach one sweet spot. So if that guy throws that drink, you are going to ruin my set. You feel me? If that girl, or I know that guy, and I know that girl, and I know that girl, they are not supposed to be here. Stay out. You understand? If that girl, you find out that girl is dancing with that guy, this party might end. So, those things, there's a lot going on that we're working on mentally, physically. You feel me? Still dealing with the promoter, trying to make sure that we're doing what they paid us for, the club owner or whatever it is. It's a lot of work. And people don't respect it enough. People don't respect the work that we put in, and it's expensive. So people don't know why we charge what we charge, but take a walk into any music store.
Yeah.
Find out, don't even go to music store first. Go to Apple. Check how much a laptop is. The laptop that we're using to play music. You feel me? Or even the microphone that the hype man is using. Check how much first. Then you now come back and say that guy should be taking peanuts or exposure. You understand? They'll be taking peanuts, they'll be taking the exposure from you. Yeah. And that exposure can only go as far as your network can go. You're not gonna be person that's now going to become his manager to take him everywhere else in the world. So how's your exposure going to really elevate my career in the long run? You feel me? People don't know how expensive it is, and they don't know how hard we work as DJs.
And now I want to go another layer, because you've gone from playing gigs, to different events, to now building a brand, right? And so I want to understand that transition of, literally just playing your decks to actually building cultural equity as a DJ.
They come hand in hand, because for a long time in Nigeria, a lot of DJs shifted to music, right? I'll say it here. They gave me a 4-year head start. They didn't know it then. They thought I was not trying to put out music, or maybe I was trying to be different or something, but I just got here. I did gauge my own race, and where I was at that point, I had not been here long enough to start putting out music like the rest of you. You guys have been here. You've built your little crowd, and like you have your own fan base that you can service music with. I haven't built that. You feel me? So a lot of them just rushed into the music thing, and there was a gap for real DJing. You feel me? So I stayed behind the decks for a while, like just playing clubs, weddings, birthday parties, literally just playing. Extended sets. Someone can say, oh, we come for 1 hour, I end up doing 6 hours. You know what I'm saying? Like playing. And people used to ask me then, this will be no serious. But I was like, it's coming. I'm building it up. It's coming. Like I said, we spoke about music and me. So I knew, like, how do I build up to that? And I just followed my gut feeling, which is God. You feel me? To say, don't leave all those talk. Leave all those talk about music things. It's not time yet. Focus. You see this DJ, focus on it. Let him be sick of you seeing your name on different flyers. You understand what I'm saying? All these other guys, they understand it for themselves. However, their economy is working, it works for them, but this is how you're gonna work. You feel me? So I stayed behind the decks for a while, and in doing that, I was able to build my own core following, my own little fan base of people that follow me to the clubs. Hey guys, are they DJ for Sipo? Are you guys coming tonight? From inviting one person invite 2 people, 2 people invite 3 people. Coming in December, all my guys from Yankee, you guys, they'll all be right in town. Where are you?
Yeah.
So during the year, those 5-10 people now turn into 20-30 people that are coming to see DJ Obi. And nobody was seeing that then, low-key. And those were one of the things that I had to be quiet about. Nobody was seeing that. Everybody was looking for the big cake. You feel me? The big cake is good, but when you buy store-bought versus when you mix the cake yourself, you understand what I'm saying?
Difference.
There's difference.
Okay, give me those lyrics.
You feel me? It's different.
Yeah.
I know all the ingredients I need to mix my cake with. I know it. So I know how I want it to taste. I know how I want it to look. You feel me? I didn't want to get the store-bought one. No, I didn't want to fast-track anything. I wanted to go through the whole process. You feel me? And when the time was right, the time was right. That was really what it is. When the time was right, I knew I wanted a residency. I travel around the world to DJ. And because at that point in time, no one's really checking for DJ Obi, like you said, right? Or like we said, and we're working our way up, trying to do the world record and all those things. But I'm still meeting these people. Yeah. That's one thing people don't understand. I'm still meeting these people, the owner, the promoter. You feel me? I can still go back till whenever it is time for me to elevate, then the person now will be hitting me up. So I made sure I put in my 10,000 hours to
50,000.
Yeah, you tried.
I made sure that we were moving. Like, you never know. It was also one of those things you never know. So, okay, cool. I'll DJ here. Even if you wanted to give me exposure and some money or whatever, I had to sit back, think like, is this person part of my elevation plan? Is this person going to be? Is this their brand going to be elevating? Because if their brand is not elevating, I'm not elevating. So if you're going to pay me with this exposure and your brand doesn't show any signs of movement, longevity and movement, then I don't need that exposure from you. Your $1 million is not good on my side. You feel me? Yeah. So we were pushing. I built that following that moved around with me, and that following grows with you. They went from being able to afford a drink, a cocktail, to being able to afford a bottle, to being able to afford a whole section now, to being able to travel for summer. So it's like, Obi, where are you this summer? So that crowd has been building with me. You feel me?
Compounded.
All through. By the time COVID comes around and we're going to, and Obi's house about to start, who do you think I'm going to call?
Same man.
The same guys like, yo, let's do what we do. Yeah. And they all pulled up.
You know, Obi, this question is more from my own curiosity.
Okay.
Obviously, I was a promoter in a past life. And I know the dynamics, and there's such scarcity in the game, scarcity mindset in the game. What was that transition from where back then everyone stayed in their lane, right? A promoter is a promoter, a DJ is a DJ. But now you have transitioned to the point where you're the DJ, the promoter, the house.
Facts.
You are everything, right? What was that? How did you navigate because you're reinventing, right? So people are looking at you and saying, okay, Obi, before the money used to be able to be shared, like your DJ lane, promoter lane, production lane, but now you're everything. Almost everything, right? So how have you navigated that, especially even with Obi's house, where people who might have called you for gigs, they still call you for gigs, but now they're saying, am I calling Obi as a DJ? Or am I calling him as Obi's house? Or am I calling him as an artist? So it's different lanes, and the money is different for each.
Yeah.
So how do you navigate that? Because
So
people will perceive you like, this is how I met Obi. But how I met Obi is not how Obi is now.
Right now.
So how do you navigate that way? Like, yo, bro, I'm not, and you're not trying to be prideful, I'm sure. But you're like, bro.
You have to enforce boundaries.
Yeah.
So I just had to put my foot down, literally, the boundaries, to be able to look that friend that some of those promoters, this is a full circle interview for all of us here, because if you buzz me that time and tell me like, guy, I'll pick you up on my way to the gig, and I'll be like, oh yeah, let's go. You feel me? I'm chilling with my guy. We're going to his party. I'm the DJ. We're brothers. We're helping ourselves out. Let's save on the cost, bro. Obi, I don't have a hotel. You could crash on my couch. You understand what I'm saying? But I've put in the work over time. And if you're really my friend, if you're really my guy, and you've put in the work, we should all be elevating.
Yeah.
You feel me? We should all be elevating. Like, I check my circle of friends, right? The ones that are doing different things in different industries. And even if I'm a DJ, I still have to do my thing to elevate myself, so that if the first son of the country is looking around in a circle in the entertainment industry, and DJ wise, yo, my guy played my wedding, my guy did it, I don't need to think twice about it, you feel me? But when he does that, am I still the guy that he booked for his wedding? Or have I elevated to where he can respect my rider, he can respect my hospitality rider, he can respect my technical rider, he can respect the fact that I have a rider. So he can understand, like, you've leveled up as well. You feel me? So those are the things I had to check for in that transition. Some people are going to fall off. Some people are going to go. Yes, we ran the streets. Yes, we ran nightlife. Yes, we did all those things back then, but you didn't elevate. you didn't elevate because now you can't afford Obi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a hard one.
It's reality.
But that's the reality, and
yeah.
I have to be polite about it. But sometimes I still check in with them to just be like, yeah, don't worry about anything. I'll come and do the gig. Don't worry, just put mine on fire. I'll pull up. But there's sometimes where it's like, no, bro, things are different now. You have to talk to somebody else because it's not me you're talking to about my gigs. You have to talk to somebody else. They book it. They let you know what it is. Wherever in the world it is. And like you said, it's different now. There's the DJ Obi conversation and then there's the whole Obi's house conversation. Yeah. You feel me? And then, like you said, only a few people know about those other things in terms of production or like even just brainstorming for ideas of what to execute and all those other things. You feel me? But when it comes to face value, they meet either DJ Obi or Obi's house. You feel me? And then it's a shocker for the people that used to rock with me before because it's like, which Obi are you talking about? Obi has what rider? Obi needs towels for what? Water? Like, you know, but it's like, I gotta be comfortable when I talk to you.
He's drinking sparkling water?
Is it
it's like, bro, I gotta be comfortable when I come to your spot right now. And like, you've seen the traction online, you've seen the work I put in, bro. So it should be a red flag for you as my guy if I come and I'm still doing the things that we used to do. You feel me? So I just had to set the boundaries and put my foot down, and I had to appreciate the fact that like some people are gonna look at you and be like, "Fuck you, you did me wrong.
Yeah,
you didn't come through for me." And I just have to understand that it's a reflection of them, not me. Because when I check my hard work, when I check my smart work, I'm good. You didn't elevate to my level right now, so you don't understand what it takes to operate with someone like me. And I have to understand it. I leave it like that.
The other question I have, this one, I mean, you identify with it big time. I had to get to a point when I was promoting to enforce boundaries, which is when you're coming up, everybody has your phone number.
Normal.
Everybody has your phone number. And what happens usually when they get to the door, Obi, Eche, Obi, and then they're saying your name at the door, right? Now, with Obi's house now, how do you manage that? Because there are people who are so used to having access to you, right? And how have you also navigated managing, saying, hey, I'm still approachable, but I might not be as accessible, right? So how have you managed that as well?
So I've been able to compartmentalize and create levels of people that can disturb me. Or reach me, you feel me? So I now have to, look at a group of people that I call my friends and say, who's really my friend, who's not? And if you are, what level are you on? You feel me? That will I shift? There's some people that can call me while I'm DJing. I'll actually like leave the decks, pick up my phone, walk outside. If they say they're outside, walk back in with them, all those type of things. And then there's some people that will text me and I'll just be like, text the girl at the reservations, all that type of stuff. It was difficult because then people automatically put you in the ego box of like, the guy
don't change your.
But then I've actually painstakingly taken the time to have certain conversations with certain people because I feel like what was creating the facade was the lack of communication. My communication is pretty bad. I'm still working on it. But outside of that, some other people just assume everything. You feel me? Like even friends. The other day, one of my friends was calling me, I don't know if I can call you. I was like, why can't you call me? Like, I don't know, you're doing things. I was like, I don't understand. Like, you're calling me now. And I was telling them, like, it's you people that switch up. In fact, it wasn't a friend, my cousin, that I remember, my big cousin in LA. I was telling her, I was like, it's you that switch up. They wanted to call me for someone's wedding in Oakland. So she's like, I don't know if I can come. I'm like, I'm still your family. You feel me? You have those, and then you have the ones that like abuse it just off of like, someone can be chilling somewhere and like your name will come up. And, okay. And it's a video call and I'm thinking, why is this person calling me? We're not that cool.
Yeah.
And then sometimes if I do answer, it's like, Obi, have fun now. Tell all these people there, they talk about Obi like, say they sabi. I tell them, say that, like, hey guys, what's up? You feel me? So I had to now start breaking or creating those boundaries for certain people. And I went through a lot of like, burn bridges, you feel me? But I couldn't be the old Obi that would be a people pleaser. I had to look at some of my guys and be like, yeah, I'm sorry about that, bro, but like, it is what it is. You know, that's just what life is now.
Yeah.
And sometimes I use the excuse of the fact that I'm a father now. Sometimes I use my age.
He uses that. He uses that excuse with me. So I have a wife.
I have a wife.
I have a wife.
So those are the things that I had to, you know, use to put my foot down, you know, and just.
What's the point of a wife if you cannot use that?
Use as an excuse, you feel me? So I just have to let people know that it's different now. Like for some people that are even close to me, like the road leading up to Obi's house was really bumpy for me, you know, like having kids, becoming a dad, all that happening all at once, you feel me? So some people actually know the story. They just want to take advantage of the fact that it's you. And there's this thing that, you know, Obi's a nice guy, I am, but like, there's another side to that like if you think you're taking advantage of me, when I show you that side, you do a double take, man. You do a double take, like you don't believe it's the same person, you feel me? So, and I just had to be comfortable in my skin, in myself, to know that I'm not showing you that side unless you disrespect me.
Yeah.
So anything else I'm telling you outside of that is actually out of love and respect, so that you don't get to the point of disrespecting me or putting me in a disrespectful situation where I might not have to act out. You feel me? So I just have to talk to them, man. Like, buy your tickets on Vendy or, you know, pay your bill.
It's actually a smooth process. I've tested it.
Everything with it is, that's how you know that, like with Obi's house, is divine idea, is God given, God's hands on it, because like there was a solution for every problem that came up and that comes up. It's like, well, you have this, and it's the big thing, the big lesson or two lessons that come out of it is one, consistency, but one, knowing that God has given you everything, all the tools that you need are around you. Talk to the right people, you know, talk with discernment, building my team. You feel me? I had to pray about that. I had to follow my gut feeling in literally handpicking everybody.
Talent.
You feel me? Yeah. So even recently, I just had a few instances where like, you know, cool friends, close friends, I would call them, but like, they're not elevating, so they're not going to understand what it is. And it's like, I can't give you handouts anymore. Even if you want to do business with Obi's house, or you want to do like, because I'm generous in bringing my friends on to say, yo, this format works, so if you do it for your city, which helps with my touring and everything, or even just plugging me into different spaces, right? But then don't now lazy out on the work and think that I will do all the work, but I'll just come and say, take your percentage. No. If you're not going to do the work, then you're not going to eat. Yeah. Simple. And especially if it's visible to everybody that's involved, you feel me? Especially those instances happen most times when somebody's a middleman for something. They just think they can just do like this and put two hands together and then somebody will give them 20% or something. Like, why? What work did you do? Like, I can appreciate you on a finance fee, honorarium or something like that, but still even do the work for that. Yeah. Create a presence from it. You know, create your value in the whole situation so that it doesn't look like I'm just handing off to somebody. You feel me? Yeah.
You have collaborated with some of the biggest artists. What was one moment in your career where you felt like, man, I've arrived?
I've arrived. I won't lie to you. I don't know that I've felt that. I've had that. It's just another step higher. Like, we have this joke within the team. Like, it's just another Thanos ring. You feel me? Like literally just another Thanos ring. But to say I've arrived means that I'm done. It means that I've finished. I've arrived. I need to put off my shoes, relax. And so I've never really given that or felt that thing of I've arrived now midday and now. But it's like, oh, okay. I want to, like for instance now, when Berna gave me my birthday shout out MSG, that shit blew my mind, bro. That shit it still blows my mind to this day when I actually, you know, see it and, you know, play it back or whatever it is. And that could have easily been one of those moments. Yeah. But in my mind, I immediately started calculating far, bro.
It's evil.
I'm like, do you know what I can collect with this? My boy just gave me $1 million in my hand off of a shout out. Do you know what I can do with this? You know, when I was telling him thank you, along with telling him thank you, I'm like, bro, sit back, relax. You see what you just do for me right now? I will show you that in the next thing, man. Because that has been my biggest cosign. You feel me?
And you didn't expect it.
Nah, it was all.
And this was
shock.
at the Met Gala?
No,
or
no,
the Madison Square Garden? Okay.
Yeah, 2022, 23. Yeah. Crazy. We're in the changing room. It hit 12 o'clock. It was my birthday. So all my brothers there. I was like, yeah, Obi-Wan, happy birthday. He's like, Obi, that birthday. I was like, it was so good, my birthday. He dapped me up, happy birthday. I got something for you. Don't worry. I'm like, mad. I mean, I'm just thinking that obviously the after party is going to be stupid. Like, bottles on bottles, you feel me? All of that shit, And the funny thing is, something happened right before that moment that I didn't clock, actually. And I thought about it later on. I think he had communicated with his mom on the stage, and he wanted to make sure that we're all in a spot. Yeah. So she had moved us from one spot to another spot to be like, oh, I think he needs to see you guys. And this is all happening. He needs to see you guys make yourselves visible, right? We're thinking, why do we have to shift our scene? We are already seeing him like this, but we move anyways. And then that moment happens, and I'm like, huh?
And it was captured perfectly,
bro. Like I said, from that point on, those were one of the moments for me. Instead of it being that I've arrived, it was one of the moments for me that showed me true friendship. Yeah. Because do you know the magnitude of the event that he's doing? Yeah. For him to still be a human being, because that's the arrived moment. That's his I have arrived moment.
Mm-hmm. And he shared it.
Yo.
Yeah.
That's his I've arrived moment. To just be like, 2 seconds real quick, let me interrupt my already scheduled MSG show that we are filming, by the way, step by step, to just be real, to just show my guy that like, I'm real.
Yeah. It's amazing.
You feel me? So for me, instead of feeling like, oh, I've arrived, it just made me see like, yo, who go help you, no go stress you. They will actually do what is within their power to actually help you out, no matter what it takes. And, that was that. Yeah, so I don't think I've ever, like I said, had that feeling of arrived. I just always see it as like, wow, this is an amazing opportunity. Yeah. Mind-blowing dream opportunity that I've had, and like, what is next after this? If I'm here now, I can only imagine what is coming next. Like I did Naomi Campbell's Fashion for Relief after party in Cannes, and in my mind I'm like, God damn, really, boy? You get, but that's not my name in Naomi Campbell's mouth. That's not my name in her mix. So my first Met Gala after party, who hit me up to DJ the after party? Naomi Campbell. You feel me? So it's like, that's what I'm saying. If I'm doing that after party I'm talking about was now 2018, I want to say. My first Met Gala after party with her, which was her Met Gala after party, was that right after the MSG announcement. It was the next day, even, yeah. So that shout out, now let people know Obi's in New York. You understand? Now brought up my name in the right places. So you have to now, instead of thinking that I've arrived, it's like, what else can I do with this? How can I make these people that are doing all these things for me proud? That they will want to keep doing it because I will make them proud. Yeah.
I always say favor is not fair. Like, some people have it, some people don't. But
it's there for everybody.
Yes, yes.
So
that's true.
I'll tell you this: it's there for everybody. But what are you going to do to access it? Yeah. Favor is not fair because accessing favor is not comfortable. Yeah.
Quotable.
Hey, Obi, this your artist. You've been writing lyrics recently, huh?
Bro, hey, listen. That's my dad and me. I always say, you feel me?
Communications part, yeah.
Because then I don't like to talk a lot because I feel like people misread me and misunderstand me. But if we do sit down to have a conversation, like, I expect that you can understand what I'm saying, So I try to pick when I talk.
Yeah.
You're
very selective.
Yeah, I try to pick when I talk. But yeah, favor is not easy. The things we want are literally on the other side of our fear. Yeah. it sounds like cliche. All these things, I know, they sound cliche, but like, I'm an example. I've tapped in. I had to do some very difficult things. I'm not talking about, like, but not even talking about lifting weights and doing the gym. Like, there were some very difficult conversations. You know, I'm gonna bring up Burner again. One of the things that I learned from just hanging around with him is that you have to be audacious. You feel me? What's the difference between us and a Drake? What's the difference between us and even a Bill Gates? It's the audacity to speak about like $1 million. Do you know what it means? To talk about it, not to say, I wish I had. To discuss $1 million in your bank, in your pocket that you can play around with and make some things happen. You have to be confident. You can't be oh yeah, I got this little change. No. You feel me? Like when you look at those guys when they talk, look at anybody successful that you're looking up to, like, you can't be squeamish or anything like that, especially when it comes, there's certain opportunities that will arise that you need to big up yourself. You can't now be forming humble. That's when humble becomes a curse. You can't be forming humble then when you're supposed to be blowing your own trumpet. But then you now want to downplay yourself like, I just they do this thing small. And those were some of the things I needed to change about myself. Yeah. Tapping into Obi's house. I'm telling you to come to my house. I'm telling you to come to my event, to come and like, it's the shit. Come and check it out for yourself. And that was what helped me out, because when I would say that and talk like that, and people would actually come and check it out and it's dope, it's like then they stay. They keep coming back. So a lot of people want so many things in life and they look at other people and be like, this is their favor. I wish I can get there. Your own day. Tap in. Don't be lazy. It's your laziness that's killing you. God doesn't want to give it to you here because you're not going to wake up the next day to do it. People are asking, you see all those memes on Instagram and say, God, just give me that 100 million today. Even if he did, are you going to spend $1 million in 100 days? Are you going to spend it in 100 years? How are you going to use that? You understand what I'm saying? Are you going to go mad? Or are you understand? Like, you get why God no give us anything. Even the blessing of Obi's house, I still laugh about it because like, all my vices are in my face. But if I didn't go through a certain kind of discipline, even with celibacy and alcohol and all of that, if I had gotten it at the time where me and Issa were young and wild and single, or even myself and Chin, for no day right now, because we would have splurged, we would have done what any young man would want to do, accessing that level of exposure or funds or anything like that. So sometimes we always laugh about it, like, thank God say God no give us this thing that time, because it would have not still been around. Because then, then a friend can look at me and say, Obi, now, she be able to come your thing. How am I spending $1 million? Yeah, guys, sign this thing for me, which killed a lot of businesses in the nightlife space in Nigeria. Yeah. Because I now feel like, that's credits. My guy. Yeah. I don't chop fufu for your house before. I know his mom. I know his sister. He's like my guy. Before you know, 1 million becomes 2, 10, 50, 100. You're now chasing so many debtors that like they're now. That's when they announce, I don't know this guy. What's that? And then the reason why you signed those things, the reason why you gave them that credit is because they are your guy. But now that is not convenient for them, they are no longer your guy. I learned that lesson many ways in Nigeria, bro. And I thank God I did learn all those lessons before. So sometimes people mistake times and seasons. If you are not ready for it, it's not going to come to you. Don't worry. If you are not ready for it, sing the song all you want. Be doing monologues on Instagram all you want. You understand? They throw shit too much, but I guess some... You get some motivational speakers and some gym experts that year. Every day in the gym, you never lose 1 pound. You never shift. Nothing has shifted. Because you are just recording it for content.
It's true. We talk about this thing all the time.
You just record it for content. You put on your gym fit. You go to it's like going for PE class now. You record your PE class. But when you finish with your PE class, you're back to doing all the shit that you do that still gives you the weight, that still makes you, you understand what I'm saying? So nothing has changed. I had to be drastic with my change. I had to be drastic with my belief in God. So people get confused when I'm telling you that Obi's house is a godly thing or Obi's house was a divine idea because then you're thinking it's a party. Now they put God for box. You are the one putting God in a box because you are the one that wants God to give you certain things the way you imagine it. So he's laughing at you. You're not ready. You want to tell God that nothing is the God that nothing is greater than. You want to tell him how you want. Really?
Yeah.
You're not gonna get there. But one thing that lets me know that something great is about to happen, especially like with other people and myself, is like there will be some kind of difficulty that starts just brewing around your life. So when I feel those things sometimes, I don't panic at all because I've experienced a few of those. So I don't panic at all. People will start experiencing like breakup in their relationship that will derail you. You know, even grief, it can derail you. All those things, you know. Do you know what it means to always give thanks in everything you do? You chop slap, soldier. Thank God for that slap. I feel no day alive to chop that slap. Bro.
It's true.
God feel look at you say, now you understand. Because it's not always when it's good. It's not always when it's good. I feel like I'm about to say something that might, but it's not always when it's good. With this fairy tale thing, when it even comes to love and relationship, it's not always when it's good. Do you feel me? It's not always when it's good. It's not always when it's like rosy that a blessing will just come from heaven. It's actually when you go through like that resurrection process of being beaten to the pulp, almost dead, getting nailed to the cross, dying, but believing in God to pull through. Because when you're dying, you're going through hell and all of that, Jesus Christ still came out of all of that. Yeah. That's what your challenges are. So you have to look for the light at the end of the tunnel, and your only light at the end of the tunnel is God. Because even in death, when your eyes are closed and your soul is gone, God can come through.
Are you a pastor? You give it a sermon over here. I'm like, okay.
I told you guys not to let me smoke. I told you about. But the truth is this: the reason why it always sounds like that is because that is what I did. Yeah. I didn't do people. I do this and people are like, that's what I'm giving you my playbook. Yeah. I know they hold down. Yeah. Because when it's good, when it's from God, it's to share.
Yeah. It's abundant.
It's abundant. Nobody can steal my shine. Nobody. People, they calculate Obi's house when it to start dying down. Guy, you go, they press that calculator like this because you don't know. Yeah. You have no idea. You're not my God. Yeah. Don't worry about the things I've done. Don't worry about the sins. If you don't fuck your girlfriend before, sorry. Don't worry, but God is not. It's the truth, bro. God is not now going to look at those things and say, because of this, I'm not going to give him this.
Yeah.
And you have done certain things as well.
Yep.
But it's because I don't know. But God knows. Yeah. But if you go and pray to him, he'll say, and I will give it to you as long as you repent. You understand what I'm saying? That's why it's a personal thing. Salvation is personal.
Yeah.
You feel me? That's what it is. So because sometimes people look at me and feel like so there are people that look at me and feel like I don't deserve that. And then cool story, because the way our paths crossed might have been different, but I think I deserve it. I'm going to do what applies. And if I check and do my research and they say that this God can do these things, I'm going to check him.
Yeah.
I'm going to test him.
Yeah.
I am.
Actually, I want you to say or speak to, when people go to Obi's house on a Monday night, what are they supposed to expect?
Good vibes. Good vibes. Come and be yourself. Obi's house is a party of light. We party. It's the only place you can party and see everybody. Can stand like this. Your guy can call you. Can you see that? It's bright. We do that for a reason. Even the fireworks is display of light. So when you come, it's like leave all that baggage of pretense.
performance,
eye service. Leave all of that outside. That's why we party outside. So leave that at the door. Come outside and be yourself. For the ladies, you don't have to do anything extra. You have to do it for yourselves. But when you come to somewhere like Obi's house, like sometimes when it's a thing where we laugh at some babes, they're low-key because...
Remember that girl? Louis Vuitton shoe. I was like, you were to the Obi's house.
In fact, the more you deck up, the more you look out of place at Obi's house. Yeah. Because we want you to come as you are, who you really are.
You hearing it here, y'all?
Yeah.
Come as yourself. No Louis Vuitton, no red bottom.
They can do it, but like, do the slides, simplify it.
Yeah.
Don't come dressed to the 9 outside. You go sweat for Lagos. Your makeup will drip. You will still go to your car, wipe it off. I've seen that before. You go wipe everything off, come back. Like, yeah, this is the party. Yeah. Just go and chill. So that's what you have to expect at all. And that's what has kept it going.
Yeah.
That was the light bulb moment. Now let me take you back. All those people that were coming to my gigs, those are all the people that come to Obi's house. Those were now my first promoters of Obi's house. Because now they're not talking about it from present, they're talking about it from experience. Yeah. So when they're saying, when they're telling their person to pull up to Obi's house and the person like, it's like, trust me, Obi, blah, 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 blah. Because they've experienced from Liquid, from
track
Simple.
record.
You feel me?
Yeah.
So those were my first, when people ask you, how you doing here? I'm not even posting flyers. They were the ones like, I'm going somewhere today. Are you sure you want to come? Okay, come and chill with me. They bring their people who chill. That person, it was like literally word of mouth, referral. Everybody was discovering it on their own. You feel me? That was one of the amazing things about it because of those personable moments that have happened in the past.
You've watched Afrobeats become a global force, right? I mean, Obi since like almost 2005.
I started in 2005.
Yeah. So what was the moment you knew everything had changed?
Different points.
Yeah.
Different points. For me as a DJ, different points. I'll mention a few. As a traveling DJ, in 2014, I stayed in New York for the summer. The entire summer, Chin and I, most random things we used to do, right? And IOJ, Your Number,
at the time,
had dropped, but that song was like 2 years old in Lagos at that point.
Yeah.
I did chill for New York, I like to listen to New York DJs a lot. DJ Nori, he just starts going off. I got this new heat all the way from Africa. I got what heat from Africa, bro? And he played. Wow. I don't think a lot of people know that, which is cool for interviews like this. IOJ kicked that door open. DJ Nori unlocked it in New York. You feel me? Everybody can say what they want to say about like having their corporate conversations in the back end and brewing what they were brewing. But I remember that moment for Afrobeats, and that was one of those moments I was like, boom, we're here now. What are we going to do with this? How are we going to start this thing? Because even then, we're playing parties where they would only still tell us, you can do your little African thing, you can do your little African music thing, but like, make sure you play what's hot, right? Or like, for instance, now, in that same summer, Everyday People was booming. Yeah. Chin had, infiltrated the scene of Everyday People, found out who Moma was, found out all these things. Like, I'm booking you for this shit, we're going to do it. He actually did. We get there. I'm doing my research about Everyday People. I see that there's one stage, main stage, right? Cool. I do my research about the quality of music that they're playing, throwbacks, transitions. How am I going to do all of that? And I get there like, no, it's cool, bro. Just come and experience the party here. But you see, there's this room downstairs. It's a small room downstairs. Like, you guys can do your thing down there. A few Africans that come to Everyday People will tell them you guys are downstairs. And they'll come and see you play. we came there with all the Africans that were at that party, maybe about 20, 40 of us. So we all just went to party downstairs. Fast forward to what everyday people is now. I'm there and I'm a piano party.
Yeah.
I don't even know if, I'm sure Moma mixes it up and everything, but like, it's heavy on the Afrobeats. It's heavy on. So that as well was a moment for me because then like, I went from hiding us in the room downstairs to now
We're on the rooftops.
bro. You feel me? To now everybody wants to be African.
Yeah.
You feel me? Yeah. You know, those type of moments. What else? The Joe Legba remix, you know, Skepta did a lot for Afrobeats. I don't think we give him his flowers for and respect for, you know, not discrediting any work that any of the artists that are in Nigeria put towards their craft. But when there was need for help to cross over, certain people stood up.
Yeah.
And Skepta was one of those people that stood up, looked around him and reached for whoever was closest to him. Thank God it was Wiz.
Yeah.
They did their thing. Skepta being who he is in the UK.
Yeah.
On the other side, somebody else was coming in to fuck with him, who was Drake. So when Skepta said, listen to this and do this, it was a no-brainer. Boom. We're in that room now. Drake is fucking with our shit and doing a Joe Legba remix. That was a moment for us. You get? And then elevating from there, if you want to tap in with a Burner, doing like the shows and doing all the late night shows and watching Burner's journey from where he started to where he is now, doing the collaborations. Remember hearing a Burner and Sam Smith's collab. I'm like, huh? You know what I'm saying? But beautiful music at the end of the day, you know, and those were the people that were walking us into the room when people were laughing at us about being African and maybe laughing at our music for being unauthentic because it was lamba all the way. Then you have someone like a Burna Boy coming out with Afro fusion and doing his thing. He's looking like them, but he's African. So he's sounding African, looking like your favorite hip hop stars or even your legendary, you know, American, UK stars.
I'm moving with the swag too.
Yeah, I'm moving with the swag and everything. You feel me? So him being able to bring authenticity to the table, originality to the table, switch up the sound when you're talking about performance on stage, be able to just not. It wasn't a disadvantage to the DJs, but it was more of like that's not what your job is, and we had to understand that. So when he shifted from DJ to band, it was one of those things that we had to understand that, yeah, maybe that doesn't go like that because it can't always be, yo, DJ, next track. We don't do, you know, when you've seen high level international performances, it's not that. So even as DJs, we can appreciate the fact that we get booked for that gig, but that's not our spot.
Yeah.
We can come in before the artist or after the artist, really just to cheer the crowd on. But if you're an artist trying to give a full-blown performance, you should have your own band. And he does that amazingly well. He's been able to sell out so many venues everywhere. You feel me? So those are the different moments for Afrobeats, you know. There's so many, bro. There's so many. But because of us sitting here, that question, I even want to throw it or answer it in a different way. We don't credit all those guys in Yankee
We don't.
that were keeping the flag flying in the UK, that were keeping the flag flying. Because all these guys were doing all this work in Nigeria, which was all well and good. But it's the Nigerians in the diaspora that were keeping it consistently going. You understand what I'm saying?
Promoters, DJs,
Nigeria Reunion, all those Independence Day parties. One of the things that shocked me moving to Nigeria is that Nigerians don't celebrate Independence.
Yes,
If you are Nigerian and you are outside the country, if you know how they celebrate Nigerian independence, you will be shocked.
You're right.
We don't celebrate it here.
To come home to Nigeria,
nothing
and
happens.
Independence Day happens and it's like, hey, he don't cause promoter fights for
all the beefs in New York, California,
bro.
The parades.
What?
Shit.
We have to show up
Man.
as Nigerians, and
Man,
in
those
Nigeria,
days,
there's
man.
nothing that goes on.
Atlanta.
Bro, you feel me? But all those DJs, all those promoters were the people that kept playing it, and very annoyed. A random celeb will walk in and experience Afrobeat for the first time, or a random producer walking, or big name person, DJ, whoever it is.
People who went bankrupt, sponsoring the concerts back then.
Concerts, trying to bring Nigerian acts to the abroad, anywhere, if it's the UK or the US, you feel me? Those guys were the ones doing the real work on ground.
Guys, we dedicate this to you. All of you are on them.
We do dedicate because we don't talk about them enough. We like to give the artists their flowers, which is cool. But the artists were not the guys that were in a random hole in the wall spot performing. It was a local DJ. It was a D-Money. It was a DJ Zimo.
D-Money, woo.
It was a DJ Zimo. You understand what I'm saying? There was a whole coalition of Nigerian DJs. So there was the Nigerian DJs conference, 3K and the rest of them pushing heavy just to put this thing together. We were not getting paid. It was just, we were looking for activity to do. And we had to do them as Nigerians. You understand what I'm saying? So those were the people that were literally, you know, the Smiths in London, you feel me? They were literally doing these parts.
Cocoa Bar.
Bruh, Cocoa Bar. Then there was a Gamma label back in the day, you know. Even as young as we just used to do our small Nigerian parties here and there, you feel me? But those parties were investments. That we are now experiencing the harvest and enjoying the harvest and stuff like that. So we have to big up those guys, because I also come from that. You feel me? I used to go for like regular Yankee DJ conferences and like Revolt music conferences and stuff like that. And I lived in the States, but I'll tell them I just flew in from Nigeria. I immediately stand out from everybody else in the room, because they want to talk to this African fresh off the boat. You feel me? And I would have to give them the whole spiel and all of that, and like now introduce my sound, my country people's sound, my where I'm repping, introduce my sound to you guys. You feel me? And then I'll now meet that one Nigerian that wasn't confident enough to speak up in the room, but now they have an ally. So now it's like, okay, let's bond together and push this thing, because we're Nigerians. We know our artists. You know, I remember giving Pitbull's DJ one day cold track, like, yo, this guy can sing. It's like, oh, how can we connect? You know, we used to have all those crazy conversations, man. Like, how can we make this happen? And I was in college, like, I don't know how to make it happen, but shit, I'll reach out. You feel me? Bro, that time, just off of being a Yankee, someone can just call me like, guy, I want Diddy in Nigeria. Really? What am I supposed to do? You feel me? But I will entertain the conversation. I will even go as far as researching how to reach out, what his fees are. Someone can come and say, oh, I want a 50 cent. I don't, okay, cool. You know what I mean? We're just having these conversations, bro. And it's like, when I think about it now, what could I have really done? What could I have really done? How was I going to make this happen? You feel me? But look at it now. You know, it was investment to times like this where we could do those things.
It's crazy because back then, even convincing the clubs, because they're used to hip hop, they didn't know Afrobeats.
Exactly.
You booked the club. Like back then, you used to maybe be in the halls, the community halls first before you moved into the proper clubs.
The hotel.
And just to see where it's at now, right? But the thing is, you're talking about people like us had to have that belief. Nobody else might be fucking with the music. Nobody else might be fucking with the culture, but we know that this is dope. And I even I think when I was talking to Chico like earlier this week, that when I think about Wizkid sometimes, like he's like my first Jay-Z Reasonable Doubt moment. Like that, the sound those drums felt when you heard Ayo Superstar, it was a remembrance. Like this is an ancestral music, right? And I think like sometimes maybe the music has been diluted a little bit, but that's how it felt at the time. You know?
I see that. I see that, because now it almost feels like we're trying to impress the other guys versus sticking to our stuff. Being original.
That's a really good point. And so I want to talk about, you recently turned 40.
Chai.
I was telling him about how we felt when we were on Instagram and we said, Obi's turning 40.
I'm not far from it, but it's like kind of crazy, honestly, like to hear that number, because it's like, wow, like you're now a man. You're now a full man. No, before, obviously.
No, I know what you mean.
Like there's a weight.
The YNs will say he's an unk.
Yeah, the YNs.
So I want to understand, how has your perspective on success or peace changed? You know, now that you hit that. As I said, we're going to get you.
It has changed you. I'm master of just letting it be right now. And with success, I feel like I spent a lot of time, imposter syndrome. I feel like I spent a lot of time hiding. I feel like which is why, like, when you get two versions of a DJ, it'll be reaction outside. When you talk to some people, they're like, no, we saw this with Obi, don't worry. We were telling him. We were telling him to step up. We were telling him to step into it. You get that bit, and then you get some other, whatever, answer, you feel me? But for the people that believed, we've been working for this for a while, right? So now, which is why 40 is my king era, it's like I'm not dumbing myself down for anybody. No. I do this shit. For real. Like, when it comes to me, if you want to make it happen, let's talk. But if you want to be doing all those, Nigerians like to do meetings, we'll talk like this, talk like that. Okay, let's reschedule. Let's do you second this? Guy, I don't do all of those. Whoever has the funds, whoever has the idea, let's come together and make shit happen. Simple. Believe. You understand what I'm saying? And then with peace, I've just come to the a few realizations, actually. One, for my birthday party, I realized I don't like attention. I realized I don't like attention. I couldn't hide, man. In fact, I had to unplug from, like...
It was too much to me.
I haven't even sent out thank yous yet. Yeah. I was just like, it's done, it's good. It felt like a lot. So I realized that, you know, when that attention is all on me, like, you know, with Obi's house, I'm able to just mask it off and like, I'm doing things, I'm working. You know what I mean? Like, let me go handle it. Even if people are hailing me, it's like, yeah, cool, but I have to make sure that somebody's table is right. I have to make sure that, you know what I mean? Cool story. But here I'm stuck in one place and everybody's like, Obi. Like, no, I want to go home. So I've started now training myself how to handle that, because it's almost like, yeah, Obi, you're not doing small things. You're not doing ordinary things. So like, people go hail you. You stand in your bask in that, you feel me? Yeah. But at the same time, I've also been able to learn how to detach. That's where the peace comes in for me. I'm not going to waste too much time arguing. I'm not gonna, you know what I'm saying? Like, if it doesn't fit, it doesn't fit. You feel me? Unless it's something I'm passionate about, then I'll make it fit. But if that passion doesn't come, like, no, then it's not there. I'm not now going to take on that challenge of creating a passion for it to make it fit and all that. No, I'm not. I'm gonna calm down. I'm going to analyze it, and if it doesn't work for me, it doesn't work. I realized that I was spreading myself thin a lot in my younger years, trying to please a lot of people, trying to make things work, trying to fit into people's perspective of me. You know, they have this idea and it's like, okay, let me try. Maybe, no, I know myself now. I know what I want. It might not be what you like, but that's just my truth. You understand what I'm saying? That's just my truth. I talk to God about it. If it's a go, it's a go. If it's not, it's not. You feel me? Like, I pray for signs. I get my signs. I don't have to explain it to you. You feel me? Just if you don't believe it, then watch me do it. Yeah, become a believer later. But like, that's on you. The time of trying to convince you is, I want to convince you through my actions. I don't want to waste time having a meeting, talking to you about it, because then we can keep gisting. A lot of these meetings that people have in Nigeria is gist. You find out that you stay there, you talk about the night before, how are you, you know, before you now get to the crux of everything, you feel me? So yeah, that's how I've been able to navigate, or how I'm starting to navigate 40, just stepping into a king era. But when I mean, you know, there's still humility with leadership. So, you know, and I'm starting to understand that if I truly want to step into my leadership role, you know, I like to carry everybody along, but there's some times that I need to stand out. There's some times I will need to separate myself from everybody, and the ones that understand will let you have your spotlight. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? The ones that understand. The ones that don't understand, that's when you get the complaints of what are you doing? Why are you doing this? What the ones that understand that that's your moment. Have your quick 30 seconds, 1 hour, whatever it is. But as long as you like look around, like, okay, let's go. I'm done with this moment. Let's move on to the next one. And then, you know, one of the things I'm also trying to work on now is showing up for the people that show up for me. You feel me? I'm trying to reduce the busyness. Busyness meaning like what is unnecessary noise around me, so that I can actually have time to show up for the people that show up for me. Yeah. You feel me? Yeah. Those are some of the few things, you know.
And I also want to ask you, so you're a father, and so I want to know, how does that ground you, or how does that change your perspective?
It gives purpose to a lot of things that I'm doing. Or I think that's the difference between being single and married and having kids. Bringing people like that into your life create purpose. So you're not just like hustling for nothing. You know, like now my money has purpose, my time has purpose. If I'm going for a gig, I'm going for a gig because I'm trying to get this check so that I can sort them out. You know what I'm saying? So it calms me down when it comes to like picking gigs. Sometimes I don't need to do everything. You understand? Obi's house in itself is taking me everywhere now. So, but being a father it also humbles me. I tell people that it's a real tangible example of unconditional love, because then you're gonna want to do every and anything for your child to make sure that they're good. You want to teach them life in a positive way. You just want them to be an amazing person, and you want to do what you can, you know, without really spreading yourself thin, because even in that, there's where you can spread yourself thin and you end up not being available or not around. You feel me? So, and it's not that easy. It's not that easy. You know, I'm not married, so it's not that easy. Communication wise, it's not that easy, you know, but we make it work.
Do you want to be married?
I don't know.
We're going to work on that.
No, I don't know. But here's the thing. I lost love. Yeah, I lost love. So I lost my belief in marriage. Yeah. I believe more so in a partnership that works. If that comes with a marriage, cool. That's something you guys are going to discuss. That's something you guys are going to cross that bridge when you get there. You know, which typically goes against my beliefs as a Christian. Yeah. Right? But I'm praying about it. You know, it's just like, it's from my mistakes. It's not what anybody, or I mean, it mixed in with, you know, a few wrong babes in my life, but it's also from my mistakes. It's also been from my lies. It's also been from my young antics of like doing all the dumb shit as a young man. You feel me? So I'm still, what will I say, hoping and praying that I retrace my steps, you know, but I feel like I sacrificed love for my career. So I'm still on the prayer line for that bit of my life. I think about it sometimes, you know, it comes to mind, because then I'm in the house by myself. At 40, it's like, yeah, I have kids, but they don't live with me. They live with their moms, and it's like, I like that noise in my house 24/7, but I don't get it. I can't get the wake up, I run into the room vibe type of shit, you feel me? So, but I also have to understand the truth about that situation, that was my doing. So that's my consequence for the actions that led up to that. Because I could have been a better man, but I wasn't. So it doesn't mean that I cannot be a better man. I just have to, you know what I'm saying, like work hard to welcome love in my life. You feel me? It takes work. It's not a fairy tale. And those are some of the truths that I'm talking about. It takes work. That I feel like people don't know this. You know, a lot of people have this fairy tale of getting into it, and then what happens after that? You feel me? What happens after that? Because, you know, it's cool planning something. You have something to look forward to. Oh, I soon be engaged. I soon be married. You know, like, and then when kids come in the picture, it's not a ball game. You feel me? It's real life. So I don't know.
We'll solve that with legacy. We'll get.
Let's see. But with 40,
Yeah.
it's one of those things that I'm really trying to like talk to myself about, like how far. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you can. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
You can schedule things and all that, but it's a lot of work. I travel a lot for work. I don't like long distance relationships, but I end up being the person that is doing the traveling. You get. So I have to figure it out. I'm trying to figure it out. I didn't figure it out before. And then something I never really talk about is family pattern. Yeah. I didn't pay attention to that as deeply as I should have.
Sorry, what do you mean by family pattern?
Remember we talked about his father.
Family pattern. So there's a pattern in my family with the men with 2 women. 2 women, 2 wives, 2. 22s, but that's my intrusive thoughts. 222. But my dad spoke about it a lot.
Yeah.
But it was all like, yeah, that's not gonna happen to me. That's not gonna happen to me. That's not gonna, and it didn't happen to me in the same exact fashion, but it did happen. Yes, it did. So I didn't pay attention to that a lot. If not, I moved different. You feel me? I didn't pay, and there's something that I realized because I think about life a little differently. In dumbing myself down to people, I got comfortable with lying. Yeah. In not speaking up, in not coming into my own, in not, chest up.
Yeah.
Big up in certain situation, just be like, I don't feel like talking to this person. Oh, yeah, well, it starts small and then it grows and it grows and it grows. And I didn't realize how dangerous that was back then. So I had to rediscover honesty. I had to rediscover speaking up. I had to rediscover opening things up. I was very closed. You feel me? People couldn't break through type shit. So yeah, there was a lot. And coming into 40, I had to flash back. I had to have my reflective moments. I had to have my quiet moments by myself to be like, what was life then? What is life now? What is life about to be?
Yeah.
And it brought a lot to my mind. So, with this love conversation, man, it's deep for me. It's deep for me. And whoever it is has to understand how deep it is. It's not, and moving forward now, when I do talk to females or I talk to women and we're getting to know each other, I first of all lay out my whole rap sheet, my nigga. Like,
you did that to me.
That's why I say I did fall everything out.
You don't need to go searching.
Don't worry, because if you go searching, you get it wrong. Yeah. Everybody has their own point of view. Do you want the truth? And then they still go searching.
Yeah.
But the stories are, what will I say, aligning. You feel me?
Yeah.
But I'll tell you my fuck up. I'll tell you how I messed up. You feel me? All of that. But yeah, I just had to rediscover honesty and own my shit. Accountability. You feel me? Like, I can't fuck everybody in the world, man. I can't date everybody in the world. Man, as men, we know, everybody wants to taste new pussy, but it's dangerous, man. Yeah. Pussy hell of a drug, bro. You know what I mean?
Comes at a cost. Why are you pointing? Stay with the pastor's pocket.
But you have to now understand how we were groomed for that.
Yeah.
You have to understand we were groomed from that for that from a young age. The auntie saying, "Oh, where are your girlfriends?" I remember. I not even remember. It's a running theme in Lagos in Nigeria. When they are talking to young men, they'll be telling you, "Yeah, just marry. You can still do your thing."
It's true.
It's like, that's not good advice. Yeah, it's not an excuse. You just
terrible advice.
Shortcut the marriage fee. You feel me? Because in Nigeria, people marry more for respect than actually the marriage itself. They just want to have that ring on their finger to say that they did that. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like it's like a next level in life. You feel me? The Bible says not everybody will get married. Marriage is not meant for everybody. It is in the Bible. I don't know why pastors don't preach it. That's one of the scriptures pastors don't preach at all, but then they collect their wedding ceremony money. You understand? So it's bad business for them, but it's there. It's in Matthew, I believe. Yeah. You know, it's not meant for everybody. If you cannot marry, you know, give your body and life to the work of God and all of that. But if you can't, then, you know, marriage is that's why marriage is part of an institution. It's still part of the church. But if you know that you're not going to be fucking all the choristers in church and everything like that to get married, if you cannot, but outside of that, give your life to Christ and, you know, do work in the church and all of that. So I feel like people skip that fact.
I wanted to double down on, because obviously even when I started to prepare myself for if I wanted to get married or if I wanted to get serious, celibacy was also something that came in there. And obviously the sort of environment and industry we're in, when you start saying celibacy, it's not a popping bottle sort of language, right? But how did you, first of all, navigate that? Because now, like, I don't drink anymore. There's a bunch of vices that I just don't do, right? But in doing it, I know how it served me. So I wanted to understand, how was that decision to come to say, hey, I'm going to be celibate. I'm going to cut off even some other things just to align myself properly.
Oh, that was out of hitting rock bottom.
Yeah.
That was out of hitting rock bottom. That was out of having, you know, 2 kids back to back in a short amount of time. 2 of my kids are the same age. Yeah. You feel me?
They're twins.
They're
twins.
They're obese twins. Yeah. They're obese twins, and they did amazing. But that was out of that rock bottom and losing love, understanding that maybe you had a little too much pussy in your life. You need to devalue pussy. Yeah. I tried to tell my friends about it because that was what I had to come to. I was like, grooming, they groomed us in life, and we've given pussy this high value, which is why they charge. You understand? That's why they are billing, because then if a babe meets you and she sees that, you know what I mean? It's like, this one can drop back. You understand? Because you have not entered it, but you're there, you're raising it up like this, giving compliments and everything. Yeah. You feel me? So I had to devalue the pussy real quick. It was a problem. And it was from prayer. It was from praying and knowing, and you know, God will talk to you. Sometimes we give men of God way too much credit, way too much power. What they are doing, you can do yourself. The prayer they are praying, you can pray it yourself. The Bible you can do it yourself. It just takes a certain level of work to tap in. And one of those things I did was prayer and fasting. And in prayer and fasting, it came to me. Maybe you should clean out your life, guy. Stop this thing. Leave alcohol. Igbo can rest. We are still fighting now on me and God, but we'll see where we get there, if it will happen. But you feel me? But I did, in my respect to God and fear of God, and this was a journey that I wanted to start in refurbishing my life. These were the things I had to get rid of first. Celibacy doesn't mean that you never smash again, that you never fuck again. It just means that, discipline yourself, because like, fasting. If you get to where you say you want to go with that 100 million that you're asking for God to just give you for one day, if you die from knacking.
Literally.
Yes,
that's how Kevin Samuels died.
It's true.
Literally.
I don't know that he was knacking. I don't know.
No,
the story.
He said the woman.
I don't even know the story, but it's just one of those things that, who are you in your abundance? Yeah. Who are you in your abundance? Even to God, who are you in your abundance? Because God is thinking, when I give you these things, you forget about me, because that fine girl is now going to become who you are worshiping. Yeah. And you can do it because I would have now opened the door for you for $100 million. Not in way the girl wants, we need to go give her. You understand? But you have missed the point. That's not why I gave you $100 million. Yeah. So if you don't experience this discipline and these things, you will misuse even your blessing.
Yeah.
Even your breakthrough, you will misuse it. So that's when I understood. And that's when I was like, oh more. I have to tidy up, or if I don't do it now, it will finish me. It will finish me. And I've already gotten a glimpse, a very real, very life-hitting example of what that can cost me. You feel me? So I had to double down. I had to redo my life pretty much. And God is a God of many second chances. So for anybody out there listening, like, don't think that anything that you're going through is bigger than God. There's no sin, there's no crime, there's no unforgiveness, there's no murder, there's no nothing that is bigger than God. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. Nothing. Operate with your life in that and things will change. There's nothing that is bigger than God. So why worry? You understand? And there's this thing with unforgiveness. A lot of people deal with it. They don't know that it's not necessarily hindering your blessing. It is hindering your blessing, but you have the power to unlock it by just letting these things go. And it's that easy. People give things power. They don't know it. For example, and I feel like this is where everybody misses the message in the movie Sinners.
Okay.
Right.
Everybody was talking about the cinematography. Oh my God, black people shit, black people shit, black people shit. Cool story. If you watch that movie, until you gave permission, until you gave access to even his twin brother, until he get, you understand? It wasn't until that lady said, fuck y'all, come in.
The door part, yeah.
You understand?
Yeah,
you have to invite them.
Yeah, you have to invite
Everybody's
them
talking
in.
about how demonic, oh my God, don't watch the movie, it's so demonic. No, that's a life lesson.
Yeah.
I see some pastors or spiritual people online. Oh my God, don't watch that movie. It's so demonic. Oh my God, right? It's like, bro, kill this shit, man. You guys give the wrong things power.
Yeah.
Watch it for the entertainment purposes, but pick the lessons in it and leave it. You feel me? We are the ones that give things clout. 3 of us here can sit down now and decide what we want to do, and it's just to act on it and keep it pushing. And somebody will also believe and somebody will plug into it. So you understand? Be careful what you let into your life. Be careful what you let into your life. Be careful what you're giving power to. Some people pride themselves in keeping a mental diary of every wrong thing that you've done to them. It doesn't make you a better person. It doesn't mean that because you kiss behind closed doors and I do PDA that you're a better person than me. We're still kissing. You feel me? And that's what it is to God in God's eyes. A sin is a sin. That I slap you now and you're offended, or that I, killed somebody, and when you come to God, God is now not going to gaze that you have been going to church since when you slapped her, she was offended. He didn't say sorry, you are still holding the grudge. No. Because then, and we talk about this most times when we talk about forgiveness. Someone that kills somebody, that person die, forgive your enemies, but this person now will kill you if he enter heaven because he will ask for forgiveness. That forgiveness is tied to a lot of blessings. That forgiveness is tied into a lot of open doors, because not necessarily because it's holding you back. There's the spiritual realm conversation about that, but I'm even just trying to break it down for people to understand that it's really about you. You don't have space for what you're asking about because you've packed all these things and shelving all these things. You don't have space. You don't have space for your 100 million. Yeah, your real bank account is 0 or it's not 100 million, but that 100 million in your life, you don't have space for it. Let go. Let go of a lot of things. People will steadily offend you. Something blows my mind. People say, I don't like to repeat myself. Who are you? You go talk. When you want to talk again, you go yarn. Yeah, people don't like to repeat themselves, but we're all in this learning process of life. And change happens. It is the one constant thing, because you're not God. You will not like to repeat yourself. You're not God and I'm not God. Somebody's going to fall short.
Yeah.
So give human beings grace. You feel me? Give human beings grace, because if you don't understand that grace that you have to give them, you're not going to understand. That's why this favor is not fair. You're not going to understand it.
Yeah.
So you're not going to understand why somebody you know has done something that you think is not. You're not going to understand why they are thriving. You're not in that person's room, man, when they are crying to God. It's not your job to call them a prostitute. It's not your job to judge why they're in church when they finish sucking dick on Saturday night. They're in church on Sunday.
True.
It's not your job. It's not your job to judge any of that. No, it's true.
Yeah, it's true.
And we have to give these explicit examples because these are the things that are in people's minds.
Yeah, it's extreme.
It is.
But it's the reality.
It's the reality.
Right.
It's not your job.
Yeah.
It's not your job at all. Sit down, relax, do your own life. Let them do their own life.
Yeah.
Wherever we meet, we meet. You feel me? Learn to forgive.
Yeah.
Learn to let go. Because I feel like people don't understand the power that they give that keeping it real, that they give that keep the same energy. You are bringing something greater than God into your life. You know, people do that thing of like, all of us are Christians now, but I don't like you, so I'll be praying for your downfall. You two are praying for my downfall. God should punish you. God should punish me. But the God is saying, I told you guys to love each other unconditionally.
Yeah.
As a parent will love their child, and as God will love us, that he will send his only son to die. That is the extreme display, an extreme show of love that none of us can do.
Yeah.
Because even Jesus got denied when he was about to set humanity free.
Yeah.
But still look and say, I don't know that guy, man. I don't know that guy. I've been following him, but I've been trying to figure out who he is. I don't know. He has been talking many things.
He's out here turning water to wine.
I thought it was popping. I said, let's get lit. You feel me? But there's a real lesson behind everything. It is just that simple.
Yeah.
And those are some of the things I plugged into tapping into Obi's house. So that's why when people talk all these, it's like, bro, I'm really only looking for 100 people. If I tell you how I broke down my math for Obi's house, I'm really only looking for 100 people.
Rapid fire.
Yeah.
I'm really only looking for 100 people. Everybody after 100 people, I'm in my profit.
Yeah.
So, you know, going up, going down, cool story. When they show up, they show up. When they don't, they don't. But like my profit is like, I just need 100 people to come and drink water and eat food. Not even pop bottles. I need them to come and drink water. I need them to come and eat food and listen to me DJ while they do that.
Yeah.
Whatever they decide to do beyond that is appreciated. I appreciate it. You feel me? You are boosting my business. Yes, I appreciate you a lot. So that's why my promise to you is consistency. I will always try my best to show up.
Yeah. Obi, so we're about to go into our rapid fire segment where we just ask you a quick question, you give an answer back. But before we do that, because this conversation, I'm enjoying it because as men, we've seen the evolution, right? What advice do you have for the men who sometimes when you've been in this sort of lifestyle, like whether it's sleeping with the women, the drugs, the alcohol, the addictions, right? You might start to think to yourself, this is who I am. This is who I will always be, right? There's no, because it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? And what advice would you have for men who have maybe at some points they reflect, they say something has to change, something needs to change, but they don't know where, they don't know how, they don't know who to even go to for help, right? What advice do you have for those men to let them know that it's actually possible for the movie to change? Like you don't have to keep watching the same movie. Yeah.
It's up to them. How bad do you want it?
Yeah.
How bad do you want that change? You're going to have to change yourself. You're going to have to change your environment. You're going to have to change your network. You're going to have to change your group of friends. There's going to be a lot of changes happening. And men don't understand how sensitive they are or emotional they are. So sometimes these things are just only hard to let go because it's like, yo, the history, the this, the that, the status. You understand? There's so many things. Like, will I just let all of those things go? Yes. Yes. You let it go. You know, you will let it go. Understand times and seasons. that's why you're asking yourself those questions of like, because it's now the time and season. Like, as much as I'm a DJ, but I love inside. I've made my house so comfortable that like, unless you really have my money for a gig or I really like you, is how I'll leave the house. If not, I dig house. You understand?
Yeah.
But there was a time in my life,
Outside.
it'd be like, say, I don't get house. It'd be like I don't get house. I was outside, but that was in my younger days. Those were in my like hustle season, like a different kind of hustle, networking,
Mindset.
building everything that you're seeing now. You understand? You know, we're still building more, but it doesn't require me to be outside every night. Then it did require me to be outside every night as a DJ, not as a person, as a DJ for the career that I'm in. You understand? So we have to understand those times and seasons in our life. And when those questions start popping up in your mind, that means it's time to change.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it doesn't mean that change, you are now a weak person. Every gangster gets old, bro. And I like to use a gangster point of view because low-key in every man's mind, he's a boss. He's a you know, when I mean a boss, like, he's a mafia boss in his mind. Even if he's walking in, think of the lowest the guy is running in his mind. I'm running this shit. Yeah, you feel me? But every gangster has to chill out at some point. Every gangster has to love at some point. Every gangster has to come to certain realizations. I'm not the young, you know, cat that I used to be. Yeah, you feel me? It's funny now. You see Snoop Dogg putting out a gospel album, talking about love, it lets you know that when you will get there, you understand? So before you get to that point, if you want to catch it early, then do it early enough. If you don't want to wait till, you understand what I'm saying? Like, I don't, like, it says in the Bible, there's nothing new under the sun. Yeah. You feel me? Some of the things I'm doing now, I knew I would do it if I followed a certain path. I knew I went to school for broadcasting and media because then I wanted to be like my dad. Even from that, I knew I could reach out into other things. Just like, how are you planning your life? How are you thinking about yourself? You feel me? Those things that you really want to do, you're going to have to tell that your best friend that you guys are always doing dumb shit together. Like, I can't do that dumb shit right now. Yeah. I enjoy it, but not right now. You understand? Sometimes it doesn't even mean that you will stop it. It just means that you have to understand now that before, you can use your whole day to play video games. You can even set up a league with your boys. Get a board, set up a league. Who is winning, who is not, who is one Fantasy. Of that. And that's cool when you have that time. But now don't be upset at your boy that he cannot play video games anymore because he now has a 9 to 5. And during those hours of 9 to 5, he cannot come to your house to play video games. And more than likely, when he comes out at 5 o'clock, he's going to be tired. So now he can only play video games with you on the weekends. Don't now tell him that he's forming that he has work, so he doesn't have your time anymore. No, it's now time for you to elevate. You understand? Check your circle and elevate with your circle. Yeah. Those are the things I try to talk to, for lack of better description, my niggas. Yeah. That's what I like to tell them. Is like, yo, check how is everybody moving. Yeah. You understand? How is everybody moving? Check around, look around, elevate yourself. Elevate yourself. That's what it is. Elevate yourself.
I love it. Okay, so we're gonna go into the rapid fire round. What's one song you never get tired of playing?
But there's a few of them, but rapid fire, that's the first one that came to my mind. Yeah. Okay. Well, not Joe Legba, No Lele.
No Lele.
It's a party starter.
You know that song, when he said, my music travel no visa. It's for a lot of immigrants.
It's a bragging right. It's a bragging right.
It was like, yo, we have to go collect whatever this American dream has for us by force, you know? It's a bragging I tell Chika that all the time. Like when you heard, like I said, it was like a Reasonable Doubt type of album. When he said, my visa travel, I'm like, bro, we said that we have to go out here and get it, man. You know? All right. Most underrated Lagos venue.
Underrated.
It could even just be like a spot.
Yeah.
I can't get giving you guys my low-key spots. Everybody start pulling up there.
Did you see that the other night?
Hey, yo. So based on that, and because it's actually one of my favorite spots, and I feel like they should get there.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like people are sleeping on them. Honor on the cloud. Honor is downstairs. Honor on the cloud is upstairs. You know, that's our little gourmet munchies hangout. You feel me?
You feel like people are sleeping on Honor?
They are.
They're sleeping on it heavy, bro. They're sleeping on it heavy. Yeah. But you know, Lagos crowd is very superficial, and Honor is very it's sophisticated but modest.
Yes.
You feel me? So it's almost like you get there and it feels like you're pulling in someone's house, but you're about to experience class at the same time. You're about to experience somebody's idea of dedication, because then it's a menu that might change tomorrow.
Yeah.
So what you're eating now, you might not eat tomorrow. The cocktail you're experiencing now, you might not experience it tomorrow. So it's like, you know, for people like us, that's the excitement of going there and experiencing a space like that. For some people, they just want to go to where everybody's going to.
Yeah.
They just want to be seen in the scene, in the crowd. I call those crowd the cool kids crowd. There's the music lovers crowd and the cool kids crowd. You feel me? The music lovers might not necessarily be music lovers, but I call them music lovers because music lovers dedicate their time to discovery.
Yeah.
They like to discover new music, new things. So, you know, people that like that kind of thing will go and discover what is not pop.
Yeah.
You feel me? Yeah. And give it its flowers.
I always tell Chef Obey that the first time I went to a restaurant, it was an example of somebody who cares. Like there's so many few places and just, you know.
Somebody who cares, somebody you can tell that they took time to pay attention to
their crafts. Obi's house in one word.
Phenomenal.
Favorite memory of your dad?
Phone calls, prayers, prayer city. Those were our quality times.
What's the song that always brings you back to center?
Burna Boy, Alone.
Okay.
Don't leave me. Don't let them take my head. The prayer, that song, it touches me every time because it came out at a time where like I was coming out of all these things. That was where I started seeing the bigger bright light at the tunnel. You know, it goes from like, you know, and you're walking and it's becoming big. And that song, there's a Obi's House on YouTube video, me playing that song at my birthday. One of the birthdays I celebrated at Obi's House. And like, people thought that I was really just vibing, but in my mind, and they tell me, say, yo, listen to this song, man. Like, don't let them take my head. Have you listened to it, Lou?
Yes,
go and listen to the lyrics again. That's a prayer. I told brothers that you're a prophet with this track. You did like it's crazy, it's spiritual. And sometimes when I want to recenter, when I'm feeling less down, or if I do start catching that feeling, or maybe I want to arrive or anything like that centers me, because it's just like, as much as it's not a gospel song, but it's like
ancestral.
It just almost makes you feel like you're doing this thing, you're working, you know, you're going to be sad, you're going to be betrayed, you're going to be let down, you're going to be put down, but like, yo, just believe. Just keep pushing through. So I play that a lot.
What's the wildest Obi's House moment you can actually talk about?
I like how you put that last part, man. Get levels.
Disclaimer.
No. Wildest. I won't say that. I won't say anything like it's happened at Obi's House. Nothing too wild. I've heard some personal stories on it. I mean, like how people meet each other and all that kind of stuff, but it's cool. But one of the craziest moments I feel like we had was like Rema. When Rema pulled up to Obi's House for the first time. It was his birthday. We were still at Bolivar. That was the night that led to Bolivar shutdown. Because the energy in there was crazy. Like crazy. It was packed. You know, and then Rema got on the mic, did a freestyle. It was just like, in that moment, if you remove yourself and look out, it's like, damn, I want to be at that party. Like, shit is popping. You feel me? Like, it was just popping. Like, it would be, I looked around at some point like, shit, this is lit. You feel me? And, you know, it just kept getting bigger. People kept pulling up to the point where it was like, yo, we gotta shut it. And then I'll tell you something about vibes, right? The vibe was so peak that the speakers went off, bro. That was what ended the night.
Really?
Or calmed the night down. And after that day, when we talk about it with the team, it's like, yeah, those speakers needed to go because what would have happened? Like the energy kept building.
Yeah.
You know, the energy kept building. Zlatan pulled up, ST pulled up. Like at that point in time, this was like 2022.
Yeah.
Yeah, before we left Bolivar. So it's like, oh, who else is coming?
Yeah.
You feel me? Like people are calling actually that they're on their way. The street is backed up all the way to where the bridge is.
Yeah.
To the bank. I want to say that it was still
Diamond.
I want to say, was it still Diamond then?
Diamond.
I don't even know, but it could have. But where Access Bank is, the traffic was backed up all the way there. Admiralty was backed up, and where are they going to? This one sports spot. Hold on, you know what I mean? Bolivar. How are we going to fit all these people in there? All the neighbors are complaining, like all this is happening all at the same time. David was pulling up. He wanted to clear the road. They started shooting the air, the mopo, trying to clear it. He had to caution his guys, like, it's too noisy, blah, blah. Bro. So that one April date and funny enough, that was before I went to MSG, before the Metap one. So to me, that was like
combination.
Yeah. And I want to tell a story about that part, that day that I've never told, right? I knew we were going to leave Bolivar that day. It was done deal. And I was DJing. And I was like, damn, this is it. Because the owner had cautioned us. Like, yo, they keep shutting my spot down. They keep closing us. They say, well, noisy. The neighbors around, it's their retirement homes. That's why they're by the water, you know, all of that. They're military guys as well, ex-military, all of that. And when you're close to God, like, solutions, they come like this. So even before she told us at the end of the night, I don't feel I don't feel I'm already. I'm like, I hope she doesn't. But if she does, I know we discredit God a lot because they call him universe, they call him God feeling. They call him universe, call it God feeling, call it whatever we call that quiet voice in our head. So as I'm thinking, and this was also before I broke my discipline challenge of no sex, no weed, no. So I'm in it. I'm deep in it. You feel me? My deadline to break it was a week or so after that, but I think I know I still pushed it a little bit. But I was supposed to break after that. Obviously, I was like the next day because it was like 4:20. I always used to time it towards 4:20. So I'm there, I'm playing music, and I'm looking out in the crowd. I'm like, damn, where can I take this place to? And like Matrix, you know that Matrix? Like Matrix, I just they see things. Okay, what are the elements? Water outside, these lights, art on the wall, but the art on the wall was optional because then that's signature to Bolivar. Okay, that music, backyard vibes. I was like, but where? We started piecing it, and literally, as we're piecing it, Hard Rock Cafe came to mind. So truthfully, all that time that I was saying, where are we going? The next day, we went straight to Hard Rock. So we had sorted all those things out before we even finalized the conversation with Bolivar that we're leaving. Yeah. You know, we had sorted that thing out, but we wanted to stay at Bolivar. Yeah. But God had bigger plans. Yeah. You feel me? So yeah, that day, there's so many times in life where God has like shown up for me that like I can never deny God. Yeah. You know, I just feel bad for people that they put him in such a box. You know, people feel like they have too much sex, so they are not worthy to talk to God. People feel like they drink a lot, so they are not worthy to talk to God. People feel like they play with themselves a lot. They watch too much porn, so they feel like they are not worthy. People feel like they do all these bad things. Let me slap this guy, or I'm a killer, or I'm a gangster, or so they think they're the ones that think they are not worthy.
Yeah.
God didn't tell you that you're not worthy. In fact, what God did say is that the bottom barrel is who he's looking for. He leaves the 99 for the one.
Yeah.
He will still come back and get you. You feel me? But he also wants you to find your way back. Keep coming back to God. So the biggest lie of the devil is that you're not worthy.
Yeah.
And that keeps ringing in your head. Keeps ringing in your head that you're not worthy. So you keep declining and you keep declining and you keep declining and you keep declining. Don't worry about your decline. One day stand up and say that you are worthy and make the move. You feel me? The devil always lies. He never comes through. If he gives, he's taking it back. It comes at a cost. Then you now have somebody that is sponsoring life freely. I don't like to pay back.
Obi, do you remember 2019? There was this all-white New Year's Eve party we did in Ghana.
Mad.
This was literally New Year's Eve, and the next year was COVID. This was at Polo Beach Club.
Polo, man.
I feel like that was my come to Jesus moment because every New Year's Eve, I would always look into the sky and be like, what does the next year hold, right? But that New Year's Eve, I found myself inside the pool, Polo.
This was
And then
creepy.
I remember,
Of course.
And I remember just looking up and I'm like, God, how can we top this enjoyment? Which goes back to like this level of enjoyment. To top it is Sodom and Gomorrah levels. How can we top this enjoyment? And then I remember looking into the sky and I didn't see any star. There was no stars up there. And I remember like, what does that mean? Like for the next year is 2020. Obviously COVID. COVID came next year.
Shut it all down.
Shut it all down. But what was that like year like for you where you're forced to sit with your choices? Like in a shutdown,
That was what Obi's house was.
Yeah.
That was, that was looking around, and months before that, Instagram has launched Instagram Live. I had started doing lunchtime mix to test out my Instagram Live, but I wasn't consistent with it, so it was like off and on. When COVID hit and coming back from Ghana, in fact, that year was so peak for Ghana, coming back from Ghana because there were so many plans for 2020.
Yeah.
And I tell people sometimes, I feel like God was just like, everybody in the world is planning something, so you all need to chill. You all need to chill because this thing you guys are planning, you understand?
We need a reset.
We need a reset, and everybody needed a reset. So I got my reset, everything.
Nah, it was needed.
2020 happened because of me. I tell people that 2020 happened because of me. God stopped the world for me because it's like this Obi guy, if his legs should come outside. You understand? So I went through my whole phase of like self-reflection. I got busy online with my DJ career and went to work, started doing mixes online and all of that stuff. At the same time, behind the scenes, trying to keep my family together, what is now my family together, trying to hold it, like COVID was for me, bro. I was trying to hold everything tight. I was trying to hold it well. There was not much to grab onto, but it's just, coming out of a lot of lies and trying to figure out life, you feel me? And at the same time, putting up a poster of like, yo, I still got this going on. And just praying. There was a lot of prayer. That was it. The prophecy for Obi's house came out. I posted out on my even with that, people still doubt God, but posted that moment. That moment happened during my birthday in the COVID time. So there was a lot going on, and I was just optimistic because I knew that I was experiencing rock bottom. I was extremely suicidal as well. But because I know God, I was able to just like always veer towards the light. It's one of those things where when you're in trouble, it's easy for the devil to put you down. It's easy for the devil to like run you down, and you could just believe everything. You will believe everything, and you can do the dumbest things to yourself. You feel me? But all through that, strangely, I just always remember that God loves me, and like, now me cause all these things. So prodigal son story, go back to God, bro. You know, like, yeah, go back with your shameful face, go back with your filthy looks, go back with your smelling atmosphere of being in the world and like doing all this dumb shit. But you know, that's why nobody needs to judge anybody. You're not better than me. Don't worry about it. I'm not worried that you're better than me. I don't care about your moral compass. I don't care about like what you've achieved in life, your degrees and all of that. You know, experiencing grief and experiencing my COVID experience lets me know that life is really a personal journey. I'm not envious of anybody. I'm not looking at anybody feeling like I want what they have because I don't know what they did to get it. You feel me? Crazy stories come out all the time about people that we love and trust. Nobody could tell me anything wrong about Diddy in the past. Am I disappointed with everything that's happening now? Extremely. Did I think he was this like crazy? I mean, but like, hey, one side of me, I know people might take offense to it, but one side of me is looking at it like, this is life. I don't know what you're doing. This is just, his own is out in the open. That's the only difference between you and him. But I don't know what you're doing, so I'm not going to judge. Hopefully he gets better in life with things that he does. You know, I feel like towards the tail end of it, he was trying to make some choices, maybe because he knew he was about to be outed and everything. But, you know, did he all of a sudden turn into this praying, motivational speaker, love. You know, but in seeing that, I feel like he was battling with who he used to be and who he's about to become. What he's experiencing now is consequences of who he used to be. God helping and God willing, he comes out of this. And coming out of this can mean being in prison. It's still coming out of it. You come out of this, but while you're there, or if you're out, do the right thing. That's what it is. You feel me? Do the right thing. You feel me? So don't judge, don't pass judgment. Just see it and be like, hey, my bro, that's your cross to carry. I'm carrying my cross. Let's keep it pushing. You feel me? It's not for you now to dissect his this and that and bro, you don't know what you're doing. Men of God fall every day. You know, we're seeing the ones that are battling with homosexuality. We're seeing the ones that are battling with womanizing. You feel me? It doesn't now mean that because they climb a pulpit every day that they are better than us. You feel me? It doesn't mean that the person that is holding on to a grudge and the unforgiving spirit and can tell you what you did every day of the week for how many years is now smarter than you because you have retentive memory. What are you using your retentive memory for? You understand what I'm saying? You're using it to pass judgment and let people know about their past when even people are trying to move on past all of that. You feel me? So, it's just do better in life, honestly speaking. Change is constant. Give yourself a shot at that change. You could change for the worse, you could change for the better. Always strive to change for the better. You know, I've done some of the dumbest shit, but like, man, I'm optimistic with life. But that's the difference between me and you. Like, I just always believe that I'll come out of it. And that God has me, and he has always proven to me that he got me. That's what lets me know that he's a truth-speaking God. So when people look at me and say, oh, but Obi did that, or Obi's a DJ, Obi did, cool story, bro. God got me, man. I can't I'm gonna go ask for forgiveness. I don't know about you, but you feel me? I'm now not going to king that vice or that judgment or that whatever it is and like make that my life. You know, people are, oh, you don't know what you did. You don't know what you did. No, I know what I did. I'm sorry for what I did, but I gotta move on. I hope you do the same. You feel me? That's where favor is not fair. That's where grace is not fair, because as much as somebody has hurt you or you've hurt somebody, you're going to pray for that downfall. But man, if that person goes and give a genuine prayer, God will answer. While you are pounding and compounding and compounding and compounding anger is one of the most useless fucking emotions, bro. It's like who you're annoyed at might not be annoyed at you. What you're annoyed at doesn't even know this. If it's the situation itself that's a non-living thing, it doesn't know. It doesn't give a fuck about why you're upset. You understand? There's so many moving parts to life that like people are not really sitting down thinking about your situation. No, they're thinking about their life. They're thinking about how to get better. Even if they're thinking about your situation, they're thinking about how to be a better person out of that situation. You feel me? So people need to understand it. Just face your journey. Be a good person to everybody. It's not a weakness.
Yeah.
Being good is not a weakness. I feel like I need to say that being good is not a weakness.
Yeah.
So many people bask in evil and wrong things and cool story, bro. But it's like, it's not a weakness to be good to people.
Yeah.
It's not a weakness to share with people. You have to be smart about it. Yes, in creating boundaries, don't create enemies. You understand what I'm saying? Because even in the Bible, God talks about loving your enemies, right?
Yep.
So in creating boundaries, don't now just like rid of everybody in your life because you are the champion of creating boundaries. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, no, like...
I just spoke about this the other day.
Yeah,
too.
because you have to give grace so you can understand grace. You have to give grace. You have to give grace. So don't just be keeping the same energy. I feel like that keeping the same energy thing, like it annoys me, you know, because then it will happen in the reverse. But you are not going to tell me about your own. It will happen, yeah. If you want everybody to keep the same energy, when it comes to your own turn in somewhere in your life, in your office, in your church, in your house, you understand what I'm saying? Yeah, I might not be in your office, I might not be in your house. You might offend somebody and they're looking at you like keep the same energy, but you wish you can move past that.
Yeah.
But instead of you replicating it to some, because then that's how you change the environment around you. Do unto people what you want them to do.
Yeah.
Sometimes I need people to see the Bible as a manual, even versus trying to access spiritual power. You understand? It's like read it in a simple form.
Yeah.
Before you are looking for spells and curses and things like that. read it in its most simplest form and literally just do those things.
Answers today.
Just literally do those things and watch your life change.
Yeah.
Love your neighbor as yourself. So do unto others what you want to do unto them. So yeah, that person, like recently I experienced something in my house where my neighbor who's across the fence, not necessarily even on my side of the fence, like felt like he was on top of the world, walked into my house to tell the workers in my house that they should stop walking. Why? Because he's trying to sleep. Who the fuck are you, bro? You understand? That, he works in construction, so he felt that he wanted to, that's not my business. Why are you in my house? You understand? But guess what? I could have taken that situation any which way, and I based on anger, I had everything in, like the way I'd lined it up for that guy. I've never met, and if he sees this interview, then God save you. But the way I lined it up for that guy, nah, you hear my name somewhere and be like, man, that guy, fuck that guy, man, that guy ain't shit. But I checked everything. I said I could go either way with this person because you clearly came to look for my trouble.
Yeah.
And I wasn't even home. This was on the truth. So I'm hearing this thing. Not after, I'm hearing it, but I'm far away. If I was close proximity, you understand? I was so thank God for that because it gave me time to like simmer down and process it. So I had to do the God thing and just like forget it. I had called lawyers, I called different things because I had staged different ways that like I would corner this guy because like who really are you? You understand what I'm saying? That you walk into my house with your mobile police to say that because somebody is hitting nails and hammer, hitting their nail and hammer on
your own house,
doing the work that I've paid them for. Yeah. You understand? When that person was moving to his own house, they worked 24/7. He didn't live there then, they worked 24/7. So I didn't get any sleep. And speaking of COVID, they did that during COVID.
Yeah.
So you understand what I'm saying? So I didn't even get any sleep, but I didn't send it because I thought somebody's trying to move in. COVID was happening, so I was DJing online. Yeah. And they interrupted some of my DJ sets that I had to wait to when, you understand? So to go through that, then you're not moving, you don't know that bit of the story, but then you now come, you now have to interrupt my own construction that's going on because you think you work in construction. The fuck are you? But I had to chill out.
Yeah.
I had to do the God thing. I had to do what would Jesus do, right? As much as I can curse at him, be upset, all of that. I was upset at my whole team. Be filming like, why are you guys not there? Who is this guy? Go and fight. You understand? I know his whole life, don't worry. You understand? So I do, but it's just like to what end?
Yeah.
To what end? You go to do power past power. we can keep it going. You go now get another person with a beef you for Lagos. You feel me? So
Yeah.
Well, our last question
I had to leave it.
is who do you want to see on the Afropolitan podcast?
I don't know if you guys will be able to.
Oh,
No, you said Audacity though.
yeah.
I like it.
Can't limit to our God
I feel
now.
like this is a setting where like I've rightfully done now is just speak my mind.
Yeah.
You feel me? So I'll pass the mic to Burner. You feel me? I feel like he doesn't get the opportunity to show himself.
Yeah.
Burner is such a blessing. And people misunderstand that. You know, he's just a man that knows what he wants. You feel me? And he's not gonna budge for anybody. So don't disrespect him. He's not gonna disrespect you.
Yeah.
To everybody that's close to him in his life, he's a huge blessing. You understand what I'm saying? So I feel like people don't get to see that. And I feel like sometimes when he gets to talk, people only ask questions that trigger him to show that side of himself, to show that burner boy that, you know, is popping off and all of that. And he enjoys it to a large extent. He enjoys the shalaye online with the Twitter, with the tweets and all the X's. I don't know what they call it now, but he enjoys all that stuff. But I feel like he's one of the blessings in my life because when I get that one-on-one time with him and I see him for that meaning or I see him for who he really is, it's like he's a great person. You feel me? But and maybe he shouldn't call that speaking because part of having him as a blessing in my life is the fact that not everybody can experience him like that. But I just feel like to some level because he has never been able to like talk like this and fully not necessarily talk about himself as Burna Boy and like African giant and
but the stripped down version
and the colonizers and all that stuff. It's like, you know, damn.
Yeah.
You feel me? He's actually a great guy. So him and my boy, my close friend Dre, Maduka, I think his life is an amazing story. He's an amazing person. He's in the shadows, but he's like my best friend, but he's more of a brother. You feel me? And I feel like his father is very vocal on the pulpit, and I feel like he can be vocal as well, maybe with the podcast. You feel me? Because he does very amazing things with their company. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you guys. I feel like I keep saying this is a full circle moment for all three of us. We met at different stages in life, and to be able to see you guys together, you feel me? Sometimes it's just like, yo, niggas got
I thought I would marry him. That's the irony of the thing.
But I feel like I was in this story. I was in this story because I remember. Did we talk about it?
You know what I was gonna say in 2020? Remember we were at Soul Cafe with Ebuka. And so I was telling you around the time like, oh, there's a babe in Lagos I've met and blah 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 blah. You know, but yeah, man. You know, this is
look at it now. Look at it shining. I love it, man. Thank you guys for having me. Honestly, this is amazing. This is amazing.
Thank you.